W is the key letter in football. It means win, and the pursuit of a W today has fired up Bill Parcells and his Giants. One more W, and they win the NFC East. For the Raiders, a W will provide a piece of a complicated puzzle for Coach Art Shell and his Raiders. It might put them in the playoff for the first time since '85. Other teams have the Raider fate in their hands also. If all the pieces fit, a W today could mean wild card. But the Al Davis credo always stands. A W means just win, baby.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Los Angeles Raiders versus the New York Giants.
Giant Stadium sold out as the Giants and the Raiders tee it up for the first time since '86 in wind chills at kickoff of -7. It'll get worse. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Don CRIQUI. As the Giant crowd starts up this most important game, they think it's a major hurdle in getting back to the Super Bowl, because if they win, they will be on the home field in 2 weeks for a divisional playoff game. But if the Raiders beat the Giants, it would probably mean the Giants would have to go to Anaheim to play the Rams next week in a wild card game. And the Giants were beaten badly by the Rams in Anaheim during the regular season. I'm joined by a former Viking All-Pro who knows these frigid conditions well. AHMAD, RASHAD, where is that greenhouse effect when we need it, babe?
That's right. You know, one thing you learn about the cold weather is you can't spend too much time with it, because winning players realize you're going to freeze. You just got to go out and play. The Giants know that.
The Raiders had a very spirited and good passing workout yesterday at nearby Montclair State in similar conditions. But the running game's going to be the key today. They both have to run it to win.
They really do. But I was talking to Phil Simms. He said this is the best weather conditions they've had out here at the stadium in the last 3 games that they've played here. And I was watching Berline throw in the warm-ups, and he throws the ball very well. So I think if they have to pass, the weather conditions is not going to bother them.
The running back for the New York Giants, who has keyed their resurgence this year and should have them on their way to a divisional playoff if they win it today, is Otis Anderson, oldest starting runner in the NFL at 32. Needing just 51 yards to hit 1,000.
Well, O.J. Anderson told me that at the beginning of the season, he was a Plan C free agent, meaning that nobody wanted him but himself. So he's out to show everybody that he's still got some life left in those legs.
And on the pregame show, NFL Live, you heard Al Davis talking about the greatness of number 34 of the Raiders, Bo Jackson, averaging 5.6 a carry. He could go to 1,000 yards for the season, playing in just 11 games.
Bo Jackson brings his act to Broadway, and I talked to him before the game. He said, you know what, it's too warm out here. Turn on the air conditioner. So he's ready to play.
And going after him will be Lawrence Taylor, playing with a cracked bone in his ankle. But LT's great in big games.
That's right. I don't know about the air conditioner, but he will get heat. And that heat will be provided by Lawrence Taylor, who in everybody's view is maybe the best linebacker to ever play in the National Football League. And what a deal we have today. We get to watch Bo Jackson and Lawrence Taylor, and we also get to watch Art Shell, who started his debut here a few weeks ago when the Raiders got back to the old ways. And I say Art Shell is bringing this Raider team back. They are starting to look like the Raiders of old. The mystique is back.
There's Bill Parcells in his 7th year as the head coach of the Giants. He's had a Super Bowl winner. He has been ruling with an iron hand in practice this week. They've been on this cold playing field at Giant Stadium for hours on end, getting ready for this critical game. And now the Giants, Bjorn Nitmo kicks it off to start the game. He hits a high spinner that'll carry short. Coming up, Stephon Evans can't get to it. Steve Smith, a fullback, takes it, and he is out to the 36-yard line. So the Raiders go on offense to start the game. There is Steve Berline in his 2nd year from Notre Dame. His offensive line, new starter at left tackle. Graves is out. Steve Wright is in. Mosbar's good at center. Wisniewski from Penn State has been tremendous as a rookie at guard. Bo Jackson, the starting runner, averaging 5.6 a carry. Galton Fernandez both like to go to the deep pattern. And Mike Dial has been catching a lot of deep balls at tight end. Vance Mueller will come in as a receiving back on the longer yardage plays. Raiders come out in that basic pro set they're so noted for. Wide receiver to either side, open set in the backfield. First down and 10, Los Angeles. Berline going to air it out, and first down. Here comes LT, and Taylor with his 14th sack. At his best in the biggest games, and LT starts fast, and the Giants knock the Raiders back with a sack.
Don, I got such a kick the other day when we were talking to Lawrence Taylor, and you said, is this the best team you've ever played on? He said, well, we're 11-4. That's pretty good, ain't it? Once again, you see Lawrence Taylor here. Steve Wright trying to stop him, but I don't think there's anybody that can stop Lawrence Taylor man-to-man. Steve Wright just grabs a piece of his jersey, has to let it go, and Taylor makes the sack.
8-yard loss on the play. So now the Raiders are up against it with 3 wideouts in the game. Burline playing without gloves gives to Bo Jackson. The Giants shut him down. On 2nd and 18, Bo Jackson gets little, if anything at all. It'll bring up 3rd and about 18. Taylor shooting in on the play again. Playing with a cracked bone at his ankle. He's unbelievable.
Well, one thing you see, Lawrence Taylor is not a one-dimensional player. He not only rushes the passer, he is a tremendous tackler. He's what the people like to say. He's a great football player. There is not anything on a football field that he doesn't do well, that he doesn't do spectacularly well.
76,000 strong backing the Giants. Raiders have dominated the series, winning 5 of 6 previous meetings. Hand up to Jackson, looking to turn the corner left side, and he's cut down in the backfield. Mark Collins comes up on him, the left side cornerback. So it is 3 downs and out as the Raiders lose yardage in their first possession. And Coach Shaw with some counsel for quarterback Burline as Mark Collins, a 4th-year cornerback out of Cal Fullerton, made another stop in the backfield.
The one thing that has kept this New York Giant team alive all season has been their defense. They are tremendous. And they get you in a situation where you've got to pass. You are at a tremendous disadvantage.
Gossett punts for Los Angeles. A proven cold-weather punter for his years at Cleveland. He drives Meggett deep. Dave Meggett, a rookie who's going to the Pro Bowl, breaks it across the 35. He's not done till he crosses the 40, still on his feet. Meggett could go the distance. Dave Meggett's inside the 30. No one will catch him now. And the rookie from Towson State takes it the distance with no flags on the field. A 52-yard punt into the wind, and Meggett brings it back 76 yards for the Giants. As the first time they touch the ball in this game, they go right through Art Shell's coverage team, and the Giants, with Nitmo hitting the extra point, have taken a 7-0 lead.
Dave Meggett is the guy that has scared this Raider team the entire week. He is just named to the Pro Bowl, and when that happens to you, what inspires you to go out and is to show everybody else, this is the reason why I'm going to the Pro Bowl. And Meggett here, just with a great run, keeps his feet and just keeps on coming. That is just a spectacular punt return. And he's the guy that the Raiders worried about, Dave Meggett.
And he gave them plenty of reason to worry as the Giants are on the roll. Dave Meggett, a rookie heading to the Pro Bowl, just showed why, as on the first punt of the game, he takes it back 76 yards for a touchdown, a club record punt return yardage in his first season, eclipsing the mark of the great Emlyn Tunnell.
No better feeling down than being named to the Pro Bowl on a team that's on its way to a championship.
Nitmo kicks off again. This time the swirling winds abate. He goes a little deeper, and Stephon Adams runs it back for the Raiders. He's out to the 23-yard line.
Dave Meggett makes the kind of play that turns a season into a championship season. You see him break 3 tackles. There's 2 tackles he broke right there. Here comes another one, and he just keeps those legs going, always going forward. Now he is off to the races here. But an excellent job by the entire New York Giants special teams. They don't have a weakness. They come at you not only offensively and defensively, but they have great special teams here.
Raiders lost 11 yards in their first possession on 3 downs. Now they start from inside their 25. Jackson. Collins makes the tackle. And a marker goes down as Bo Jackson, who couldn't get wide left with Collins in pursuit, now can't get wide right with Collins at him. And the Raiders were holding anyway.
It appeared that Gary Reasons was held. He was in pursuit of the play. like
Holding
Steve.
76 offense. 10-yard penalty. Will replay the first down.
Wisniewski, the rookie guard, who's having such a big year. Gene Barth, the referee. 12:27 to play in the first quarter. And the ball is positioned now back inside the 15-yard line.
You see the right side of your frame. Wisniewski trying to block Reasons. He just gets that arm out there, grabs him around the shoulder pad. But at that point, by the time he gets his hand off him, it's a little bit too late. The flag had been thrown.
Raiders need a hit deep on a throw. Berline at quarterback. Fernandez, the leading receiver at the bottom of your screen. That's where he's looking. Throw to Fernandez, but not close. Berline's been off target in recent weeks. Missed an open receiver. It was Fernandez in the end zone of that Seattle game that Al Davis was lamenting on NFL Live that would have won the game. The Giants defense claws and fights and gets it done. Washington, Howard, and Marshall across the front. Carl Banks having another tremendous year. Reasons and Cooks, the inside backers, and Lawrence Taylor, you know all about him. Sheldon White comes in as an extra DB in their nickel defense. Myron Guyton, a strong safety, an 8th-round draft choice from Eastern Kentucky, has been tremendous. He's the Giants' leading tackler. Pitch back to Bo. Reasons 55 gets him, so Jackson is 0 for 3 on carries. He's got nothing at all. In fact, has minus yardage.
This New York Giant group of linebackers is as good as any in the business. Once again, they try to go Bo Jackson, try to run him wide away from Lawrence Taylor, who still gets in near the tackle, but it's Gary Reasons that brings him down.
Now they're going to Marcus Allen in the backfield. He's the wing back off to the left. We'll be running a pattern on 3rd and 20. Smith in to block. Berline looking deep downfield at Marcus. Pump faking. Berline takes off but gets only to the 15-yard line. A gain of just a yard. So again, in their second possession, the Raiders lose yardage on 3 consecutive downs and have to punt into the swirling wind. But LT is down. Troubled by that injured ankle. He has a cracked bone in that right ankle.
And that's the ankle that he's holding on to now. It's another look at Lawrence Taylor. Always coming. Always coming. Just so intense. You've got to block him long past the time that you think that you have to, because he will always be around the ball. They see Lawrence coming over a little bit, and he sort of hits that ankle when he flips over the pile. That's something that Lawrence was talking about. We really need to win this game so we can have some time out. We got a lot of little nicks that if we can get a couple of weeks off, everybody will be back at full strength.
Well, as you know, Ahmad, he's not planning to lose today because he's got a flight reservation to Puerto Rico tonight.
That's why you say the best thing I can do therapy-wise for my ankle is go play a little golf in Puerto Rico.
They expect to be off till Thursday if they win. Jeff Gossett hit a very good punt into the swirling wind, 52 yards, but number 30, Meggett, ran it back 76 for the game's only score. 7-0 Giants. Another good punt. High into the wind. Here's Meggett. That is 39. Raiders cover this time. Free ball. Raiders seem to have it. They're signaling they do. We'll see if the official concurs. He does. So a break goes the Raiders' way, to the dismay of Coach Bill Parcells. Meggett, after the play of the game, on his first possession, first time he touched it, now loses it on his second punt return. Vance Mueller got the ball. Watch, 42.
One of the tough things about playing in cold weather is hanging on to that football. You see Dave Meggett with no place to go. He picks one guy and just tries to go straight ahead, and that helmet is put right on the ball, which knocks it free. And Vance Mueller's right there to make the big play, number 42. Once again, Meggett with the ball, no place to go, just tries to go straight up the field. Ball is knocked loose by Ethan Horton, and Vance Mueller, 42, makes the play for the Raiders.
They're going to review it now upstairs. That was Ethan Horton, the former number.
Ball stands. First down.
Play stands. Ethan Horton, a former #1 draft choice of the Kansas City Chiefs as a runner, picked up by the Raiders as a free agent. They have 13 #1 draft choices, as Lawrence Taylor's injured ankle is retaped. But 8 of them were drafted by other teams. 8 of the Raiders' first 13 #1 picks.
Al Davis says that Ethan Horton has a chance to be great. He's a project.
Play fake, first down, and again the rush comes. This time it's Johnny Cooks, number 98. So Coach Shell's Raiders are losing yardage on all 3 possessions so far.
That left tackle spot has been a problem for the Raiders, and Bill Parcells says that's where we want to attack. And here comes Johnny Cooks right over left tackle to make this play. I'm sure that upsets Art Shell quite a bit, because no one went over Art Shell when he played.
No one. His hands tell a great football story. On one hand is a ring with 3 diamonds for the 3 Super Bowl teams he was a part of. On the other hand is a Hall of Fame ring. Burline. Swing, gets it out on a screen to Bo Jackson, but again the Giants cut him down. Pepper Johnson, number 52, makes the knockdown after a gain of just 2 yards.
The way to stop Bo Jackson is to don't give him any place to run. And the Giants have not given him any room to maneuver, because once he starts going forward, he's pretty tough to stop. You see Lawrence Taylor, the champion player that he is, he's back out there on the field. That golf's some kind of motivation.
He plays hurt. He plays well. He's going to the Pro Bowl for a 9th time, and this is 9th year in the NFL. One of the greatest defensive players in the history of the league. Who in the history of the league has dominated big games more? Burline, downfield strike. He hits it down to Alexander, who, cutting in on a post pattern, left to right, takes it to the 26 and gets down to the 25. So Burline throws a strike to a Penn Stater, Mike Alexander, good for a 24-yard gain.
These weather conditions are not really going to affect the passing of either one of these teams. It's just the fact that the Raiders have not been able to run on this defense, and this is the way they're going to have to go. This is a very nice shot by Burline. Puts it right in the air. Very nice catch there, too, by Alexander, number 89.
Myron Guyton, the strong safety, made the stop. Handoff. Smith, the power back, takes it down to the 22-yard line. Steve Smith, a 235-pounder who blocks like a guard, having his best year running the ball. He's averaging over 4 a carry, almost 500 yards. Big score at Philadelphia. The Cardinals are up on the Eagles, 7-0. And New Orleans leads Indianapolis. That advantageous to the Raiders, who need the Colts to lose.
It's going to be a tough time to try to beat those Saints down there in New Orleans. We've seen them play earlier in the year, and they are a fine football team.
Had some very tough early losses. Win today, they'd finish 9-7, the Saints. Raiders down 7-0. 7:55 to play in the first quarter at frigid Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. At 2nd and 7, they give Burline time, and he throws a fastball that's caught and taken down to the 11-yard line by Marcus Allen, who missed a lot of weeks with a strained knee. Saw Marcus at practice yesterday. I'm not a good pal of yours. His weight's down to 207. He said the holes are a little smaller now. I got to fit through them.
He is an excellent player. Here, Marcus just swings out of the backfield on the left side, and nobody picks him up. They're playing a deep zone, which enables Allen to be over here by himself. A very dangerous receiver coming out of that backfield. 11-yard pickup by Marcus Allen, who I don't know if there's any other back in the National Football League that is as talented as he is coming out of the backfield. Great hands.
Won the Heisman, won the Super Bowl MVP award, won the NFL MVP award. Marcus Allen. Raiders challenging now, first down. Burline gets more time, and he's making connections as Galt, coming off the right flank, is down to the 7-yard line, where Carl Banks, number 58, made the stop for the Giants. What looked like it might be a blowout early when the Giants went up 7-0 the first time they touched the ball on a 76-yard punt return. Now the Raiders are challenging to tie it up.
Terry Robisky, you see there to the left, the tight end coach for the Raiders, says that Carl Banks is a franchise player. I asked him about him. He said the guy has an S underneath his uniform. He doesn't make any mistakes at all. And there you see him making the tackle there on Willie Galt.
2nd down and 6 for the first down. 2nd and 7 for a touchdown. Pitch back Smith. Raiders blocking hard, and Smith didn't get in, but he might have 4 new downs for the Raiders.
Very important, Don, in a game like this, at the weather being like it is, that the Raiders get in and keep this game close. Because the only time you start thinking about the weather, if you fall way behind on the scoreboard. It's going to get awful tough down here, though. The Giants have been so tough down on the goal line, and they take it as a group that they don't want anybody to score on them.
Last 3 games, as you know, they've had goal line stands. Had one against the Cowboys in their last win, 15-0. First down Raiders. So they've got it first and goal from point-blank range. Raiders brought in those extra heated benches. Giants have 4 of them. The Raiders have almost one for everybody. This is where the Giants, as you pointed out, take great pride. This defense guts it out down deep. Biasi comes in. Number 99, a linebacker from Boston College who makes big sticks.
And Marcus Allen's in the backfield. Anytime he's there, you always got to look over that flyover.
Marcus goes over the top. Play fake. Pattern downfield, and Ethan Horton makes the reception for a Raider touchdown. So the Raiders come right back in this game, and Coach Art Shell, who came in when he took over, fired Mike Shanahan and told him go back to having fun playing football, and they started to win right away.
I tell you, it's something about being able to sit on a helmet that makes you play a little harder. As you know, when Shanahan was there, he had a lot of rules, and a lot of guys didn't like them. They couldn't sit on their helmet the old Raider way. But now that Art Shell's back, the Raiders just come out and play solid football at you. They don't care about anything else. And they used to Burline finding Ethan Horton wide open in the back of the end zone.
Jeff Jager hits the point after. So Burline throwing strikes all the way down the field, ties it up with the TD throw.
It's 32 degrees.
Here you see Bo Jackson going in motion, which takes Pepper Johnson out. This is Steve Diassi, who's going to come in here, allowing Ethan Horton to go right here and be wide open. Ethan Horton, nobody on him the entire way. This is just pitch and catch here. You can do that in your backyard. If you get somebody to knock you into the wall like he got knocked in at the end. Just a little catch, playing catch there.
You talked about it being a reclamation project. Did not work out as a running back. He was a very high pick. 15th player chosen overall when he came out of North Carolina. Jager kicks off in this tie game. The Giants have not run a play from scrimmage in this game. Their touchdown on the kickoff by the punt return. Here is Ingram fumbling the ball. It's up for grabs. The Raiders have it. The Raiders lose it. The Giants have it inside the 10-yard line. Meggett recovers back at his 6-yard line.
The thing that I mentioned, Don, and you get a tough, cold weather day, the hardest thing to do is hold on to that football.
Robinson makes this stick, Ahmad, to free it. Jerry Robinson.
Your hands are a little bit brittle. All it takes is just a little bit of helmet anywhere around those hands, and that ball just pops loose.
Which 57 put a helmet on it. Bang.
And the ball's popped loose now. Now everybody gets a shot at it here. Instead of just picking this ball up and, falling on the ball, all of a sudden it gets loose. And Meggett makes a nice play to
67. Dan Turk also on the play, but the Giants get it back inside their 10-yard line. Otis Anderson, on his first carry of the day, takes it out across the 15-yard line. Lyndon King, an outside backer, making the stop for the Raiders, 52.
We talk about O.J. Anderson. You got to give credit to that offensive line. Here's another look at that fumble. Jerry Robinson just puts his hat right on top of the ball. Now the ball's loose. Everybody's trying to get a shot at it. But there comes Dave Meggett, just falls on it.
Giants go back to the run. Maurice Carthon takes it straight ahead. Giants changed their running game when their speed back, Joe Morris, went out with a season-ending injury. Elephant line. Eric Moore starts at left tackle. These guys all up around 300. A rookie, Brian Williams, their #1 pick from Minnesota, starting at right guard. Bill Sims, the veteran quarterback, in his 11th year with Anderson and Carthon as starting runners. Dave Meggett comes in. He'll be out of the backfield receiving balls. First and 10 Giants in this tie game, 7-7. Anderson runs. Start of the day with 949 yards. Now let's go to NFL Live in New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don. Pittsburgh still has a shot at a wild card. Here's the way their game at Tampa Bay began. Rod Woodson takes the opening kickoff and rambles 72 yards, sets them up for a touchdown. Tim Worley scored it from the 1. Then Joe Ferguson, the 39-year-old veteran, starting in place of the injured Vinny Testaverde, led Tampa back, flipped a 7-yard touchdown pass to Mark Carrier. They're even at 7 late in the first. Don?
Thanks, Bob. Joe Ferguson used to throw balls to you, didn't he, Ahmad, back in Buffalo in the early 70s?
Why am I sitting here and he's playing?
Sims overshoots his mark. Firing away on 2nd down and 9. Eddie Anderson was defending Stephen Baker, running an over-the-middle pattern. Raider defense shows a lot of looks. They switch Howie Long all over. Bob Golick has been dropping back more and more in coverage at nose tackle. They go with 4 rushers most of the time. Townsend coming up at the right end. He'll also drop off as a linebacker. Benson's having a great year. Plan B free agent. He'll come out when they go to their dime defense. Rice and Van McElroy come in. 3rd down and 9. Sims takes a look. Fires an out pattern, and it's broken up nicely by Lionel Washington. He thought if nobody was looking, would take it on a one-hop and run it in.
That was a very nice throw there by Phil Sims, who had to drill it in there. But a great play by Lionel Washington, who comes over the top, gets his arm inside of there, and knocks that ball away. The Giants do not want him to be in a position where it's 3rd and long. Once again, we look at this play. Here comes the ball, and watch Lionel Washington. Just reaches over the top and knocks the ball away. They don't like being in 3rd and long. They're the masters in 3rd and short.
Sean Landeta, who has the best net punting average in the NFL. You see his gross average over 43, but his net is 38.3. He hits a spiral downfield that drives back Stephon Adams to his 32. Breaks a tackle, gets a block. Adams moves it out across to the 45-yard line. So the Raiders, with a 13-yard return off a 44-yard punt, will go on offense in this game that's tied 7-7 with 3:17 to play in the first quarter.
Wouldn't it be great?
That'd be great. By GMAC, the financial services people from General Motors. And by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement.
With Ahmad Rashad, this is Don Criqui back at Giant Stadium. Raiders who move right down the field to tie the game at 7-all. Their last possession now start from their 45 after a Giant punt. Bo Jackson, both hands on the ball, breaks it ahead for a gain of 5. As we check the 10-minute ticker on Sunday number 16. Eagles and Phoenix now tied up at 7-all. Miami has taken a 7-0 lead on the Chiefs at Joe Robbie Stadium, and New Orleans continues to lead the Colts. Bucks and the Steelers tied up, and the Packers and the Cowboys are tied in the first quarter. Rams have gone in front of New England. Detroit, a hot club, going for its 5th straight win up on Atlanta. Check of the playbook. Is that Burline?
The masked man.
Train robber. On 2nd and 5, Bo Jackson reverses. Using his great speed, he cuts back inside, and Bo takes it ahead for a Raider first down to the 43-yard line. Giesick, number 63, the left guard, with a big block. A called play that just capitalizes on the breakaway speed of Bo Jackson.
This was a play where they tried to take advantage of the action on Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor tried to get him going the wrong way. He's got that bad ankle, you know, but he stops and actually gets back into the play. Look at this angle he takes on Bo Jackson. That's just a great play by Lawrence Taylor. Great play by Lawrence Taylor.
Raiders were saying they never had a player they thought as fast as Golf, so Bo came in, who weighs 60 pounds more and is faster. Burline, right downfield. It's taken in at the 15-yard line. Mervin Fernandez takes it all the way down to the 15 as Burline makes the play of this game other than the punt return, threading the Giant defense with a 28-yard throw into the wind.
And Mervin Fernandez and Burline hooking up again. Watch Fernandez. He's used to this weather. He played up in Canada for a while. Gets inside Mark Collins. Now, that's a great catch. Great concentration. Watches the ball all the way in. Collins tried to keep him from going inside, but he used a nice little move to get up the field, and Burline likes that.
Fernandez likes cold weather. He was the most valuable player in the entire Canadian Football League. 1 year with Vancouver. 1st and 10 Raiders in this tie game. First quarter. Burline into the end zone, going to dial too much on it. Running down, Steve Burline was Carl Banks, number 58. Just after he released the ball, he leveled him. 57 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Carl Banks is just such a steady player. He's not flamboyant or anything like that, but in talking to Terry Robisky, they say there aren't any better linebackers in the league except for the one that's playing on the other side of him. and that's Lawrence Taylor. He's in that same category. It's a very steady, plays at a high level every single game. Terry Robisky, the coach of the Raiders, was saying that he has not seen a tight end block him all year.
Boy, I tell you, he was really high in his praise of Carl Banks. He said every down he grades out just about perfect. Here's a pitch back. Marcus Allen takes it right at the defense, cutting back, and he's inside the 15-yard line. On a 2nd down and 10 play, Marcus Allen got about 3. Pepper Johnson, 52, and Carl Banks were on the stop.
Marcus Allen here trying to find a little spot. He swings wide and then tries to cut it back up the middle. And Leonard Marshall, who was maybe one of the best power players on this football team, just powers it down, and Pepper Johnson makes a tackle, but Leonard Marshall was right there.
Marshall closed it down, then Johnson got him along with Banks. Game clock down to 20 seconds and running. First quarter.
Leonard Marshall is another one of these players on the Giant defense that's underrated by the press, but not by other players in the league.
They thought he should have gone to the Pro Bowl as Giant teammates. 3rd down. Verline and the Raiders need 8. Throw over the middle to Fernandez. Loses the ball. You can't tell who's got that. 2 guys had a clean shot at it. The Giants think they have it. So does the official. And so the Raider drive is stopped. Myron Guyton comes up with the ball. The rookie strong safety.
Mervin Fernandez, playing with a sore ankle, brings his crossing pattern underneath Carl Banks. Makes a nice catch here. Banks is the first one getting. Now watch this. The ball just gets loose, comes out on the ground, and you see Guyton's the first one there. These are the kind of plays that not only are great plays defensively, but they excite the entire team. Carl Banks is the one who's responsible for causing that fumble. He just tears it out of the hands of Mervin Fernandez. But now the Giant entire team got fired up after that play.
So the turnovers are even, and so is the score.
Heineken. Amstel Light.
This
so
is
much better than other
It's a
light
great
beers.
imported beer.
A delicious European
nothing compares
taste,
to the
a
smoothness,
refreshing,
the richness,
satisfying,
or the character
distinctive
of a
flavor
Heineken.
that cuts through
Its
your
quality
thirst.
comes through.
There's a
7-7 as we start the 2nd quarter. Giants open the scoring with a 76-yard punt return by rookie Dave Neggett. Raiders scored on a Burline to Horton pass from just a yard out. Sims is over 2 throwing, and this one he grounds. No flag. There was nobody eligible near that ball. Carthon was maybe in a distant proximity, but it goes as an all right throw. Not intentional grounding, an expensive penalty with loss of down 90. Mike Wise put the heat on for the Raiders to get in as a wild card team. This must happen today. The Colts must lose. At the moment they're behind at New Orleans 3-0 at last report. The Bengals must lose. They'll go against the Vikings at the Metrodome tomorrow night. Of course, the Raiders must win today. Otis Anderson cut down in the backfield. Scott Davis, number 70, a #1 draft choice 2 years ago out of Illinois, a reckless player, much in the Raider mold. Caught him, knocked him down. Anderson doesn't have breakaway speed. George Young, the general manager of the Giants, likens him to a pitcher that's lost something off his fastball, Otis Anderson, but he's found some new pitches. Not there.
Scott Davis just with a very quick move off the ball, able to get back in that backfield and make the play. This Raider front line is really, really improved with Howie Long back to the Howie Long of old.
He makes everybody around him better. Howie Long going back to the Pro Bowl out of the shotgun. Sims takes a look. He's got problems and he's down. Mike Wise gets him. The Raiders coming on strong after they were stunned early in the game with that punt return. Scott Davis gets through again, this time for the sack, and the Giants will have to punt it from their end zone. It'll be a short snap. They don't have the 15 they want to snap the ball to Landetta.
While they try to double team Howie Long on the right side of your screen, watch the left side of your screen. Here comes Davis right there.
Sean Landetta steps into the ball, gets it away downfield. Raiders will get very good field position. Stephon Adams runs it back inside the 30, and he's out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So the Raiders get the ball when we come back, and they'll be in position to score on a field goal if they can't move the ball.
I mean, the way you bring the mystique back that the Raiders have had for so long is to win football games. And that's what the Raiders have started doing again. I mean, they used to, last year they kind of just threw their jerseys out there and said, hey, we're the Raiders. Well, this is the real Raider team. They are competitive once again with players like Scott Davis.
He's really been competitive today. Davis dominating the tackle across him. Now the Raiders go 1st and 10 inside the Giant 25. Berline looking deep. End zone ball. It's quacking as it floats down, and it's almost caught somehow at the 6-yard line. Fernandez had a play on the ball. Pepper Johnson decked Steve Berline. Do you think he just has, might just be the wind knocked out of him? $1,000 for a breath of air.
That's about right.
Under his stomach.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. But he just got leveled by Pepper Johnson. And it was a fine job of Berline trying to hold this ball to wait for his receiver to get open. He's holding the ball, still trying to find a receiver. And here comes Pepper Johnson. Just as he lets it go, he gets leveled. That's the price you pay playing quarterback. You got to wait for your receiver to get open. He sees this guy coming at him right down the middle. He just has to be courageous enough to stand in there and deliver the ball at the last minute. Almost gets a completion.
Berline up and appears to be all right. The Raiders will be going for Sims. You go for theirs. They're going to get yours. $13:50 to go in the land of the Giants at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. The Raiders have the ball with Jay Schrader now in at quarterback. Berline playing exceptionally well, knocked out of the game, but he'll be right back in, I think. Just had the wind knocked out of him. Schrader pitches back. Steve Smith cuts back. Takes on tacklers and gets inside the 20 for a gain of about 4 on the play. Again, 52, Pepper Johnson, a linebacker from Ohio State, made the stop. And here's Steve Berline coming right back in. Raiders are 4-2 this season with Berline as a starter. He's thrown 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions and came in with a quarterback rating over 80.
A team leader, Steve Berline. All the guys have a lot of confidence in him. And you saw that last play that he got the wind knocked out of him. He definitely has what it takes to be a star in the National Football League, and that's courage.
He showed that, standing in to take the hit. 3rd down, a long 6. Here's the blitz. They pick up Guyton. Guyton's coming. There's the throw downfield, and he makes the connection to Fernandez. There's a penalty marker down in the Raider backfield. Holding is signaled against the Raiders. The play comes back. Guyton coming on a strong safety blitz might have been held as he was about to get to Berline.
Steve Berline showing
68 offense, holding, 10-yard penalty, replay of 3rd down.
the hold was on Bruce Wilkerson, number 68. On the right-hand side of your screen, right there in the middle of the screen, number 68. There's the hold right there. He's got both arms out. Sort of a battle right here. And he just has his hand right up on Leonard Marshall's side. And that's when the flag comes out. But Berline showed he was on the run and threw that ball about 35, 40 yards.
The loss in that play takes them out of field goal range. The ball back to the 30. As you see, 3rd and 17. Game tied early in the 2nd quarter, 7-7. Home run ball into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders to Mervyn Fernandez. Berline threading it in these Arctic conditions with a strike to Fernandez for the touchdown. 9th TD catch of the year for Fernandez as the Giant on the sidelines cracks a smile.
And this Giant on the other side has no smiles available right now. But swerving Mervyn Fernandez uses his size right now. He's 6'3", a huge receiver, gets by the defender on the line of scrimmage. Now watch how smooth he is once he goes for this ball. No hitch in his step at all. Gets right by Sheldon White, number 39. Easy. That's another little pitch and catch. Swerving Mervyn Fernandez.
So Berline with 2 TD throws in the first half. Jager with a 2nd extra point. And the Raiders, who look like they may get KO'd early in this game when they fell behind 7-0, the first time a Giant touched the ball, now have taken a 14-7 lead. Al Davis looking on, well pleased. Looked like Santa off to his left there on the right side of the screen, but that's Al Locasell.
It's sort of good to watch Al Davis smile. You know, the last few years he hadn't been smiling a whole bunch, but he is turned it all around, and he has reason to smile now.
Raiders haven't been to the playoffs since '85, very un-Raider-like. Here's Mark Ingram, the former #1 from Michigan State, stuck inside the 15-yard line. Dan Land, number 25, came down and got him.
This is just called a go route because Fernandez just goes down the field. It's just you match Fernandez with Sheldon White, and that's what the Raiders like to do. They like to find a mismatch, and whenever they can find that mismatch, get the ball there, they figure they're going to get a big play. And
Fernandez not only can catch it, he can knock you down. He's a tough guy, looks for people to run into when he catches the ball.
And came in here with a bad ankle, Don. Only able to practice one day last week.
Now the Giants go back on offense, 1st and 10. Sims could do nothing his last possession. Cut down by Wise on that sack, and then by Davis. Anderson on a trap block takes it up the middle. Good for a gain of about 6 yards. Now we have a minute. We go back to NFL Live. Bob?
All right, Don, not nearly as cold in Miami as at the Meadowlands, but they're not used to 39 degrees at Joe Robbie Stadium. Dolphins take the early lead. Marino to Jim Jensen. That one covered 4 yards. But then Steve DeBerg comes back, hits Stephon Page, who takes a couple of licks at the goal line, but tumbles in. Pair of wild card aspirants. Each has slim hopes, tied at 7 in the second. Don?
And here we go to live action at Giant Stadium, where the Giants go to Maurice Carthon, who takes it to the 25-yard line on a 2nd down and long 3 play. Bob Golick, the veteran nose tackle, made the stop, number 79.
This is what the Giants like. They love to be in this situation of 3rd and short. They are the masters in this league of 3rd and short because the way they run that football, they figure they can always get 2 or 3 yards at any time.
3rd and short it is. They need just about a yard. High set. Otis Anderson is the I-back, the deep back. He gets the ball. He gets the 1st down for New York as he's out to the 27-yard line, knocked down by Raider cornerback Terry McDaniel. The Eagles and the Cardinals still tied 7-all at Philadelphia. Kansas City and Miami still on a tie. New Orleans now is tied up by Indianapolis. Colts got a field goal. Here at Giant Stadium with 11 minutes to play in the 1st half, the Raiders lead the Giants 14-7. Raiders, after falling behind 7-0 on a punt return, get 2 TD throws from Burline. Sims has it slapped right back at him, very nearly taken by Howie Long.
Scott Davis continuing to put pressure on Don. Not able to get to the quarterback, but gets those arms up and knocks that ball away. Watch Scott Davis, number 70, right there, the right part of your screen. Can't get any pressure on the quarterback. Now watch his arms go up. He just knocks that ball away. Cold day like this, I bet that hurt.
Sims not having the luck Burline is throwing the ball.
No, 0 for 4 on the day. Yet to have a completion.
2nd and 10 for Sims and the Giants. Carthon. Not much. Giant fans now express their displeasure at some very conservative play calling, but Sims has been able to hit the ball downfield with the throw. Mike Wise, number 90, was on the stop for Los Angeles. People wonder what kind of a person Big Art Shell is. It's a gentle giant, really. Delight to be around, very soft-spoken. You never think he was the dominating player he was.
Unless you ever played against him.
That's right.
Because as gentle as he is off the field, he was a tiger on it.
Demanded perfection from himself and everybody around him. Hall of Fame player. 3rd and 9. Sims picks it up and throws to Meggett, and he leans ahead for what appears to be a 1st down for the Giants. So Sims from the shotgun gets it downfield, and Meggett makes the play.
The player that the Raiders fear most on this Giant offensive team is Dave Meggett, because his ability to come in as a receiver. You see him on the left side of your screen, just kind of a bad snap. The ball bounces right up to Sims, but it gives Meggett time to work. You won't see very many defenders close to Meggett anytime he makes a reception because he is so elusive. Once again, now, a football can bounce many ways. Here it bounces right up to Sims, gives him a little bit of time, and he fires the ball straight. Dave Meggett. Jerry Robinson just said he didn't know if he was going to sleep last night because he was going to have to cover this guy.
Right now, he's going to have to cover him again. Here's a long ball downfield. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, can't get to the ball. Down to the 15-yard line as Sims, a strong armer out of Moorhead State. And they announced his name in the '79 draft as the Giants' #1 pick across the river in New York. The Giant draftniks booed loudly, but he might be the best quarterback in the history of this franchise, right? Beyond Tittle and beyond Connerly.
Not many boos when he won that Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And I was talking to Stephen Baker yesterday. He came over and said, man, you played in that cold weather. How do you keep your hands warm? I said, you don't. You just catch with frozen hands.
Well, we saw him at practice yesterday. He said, I'm from L.A. He said, I know the Raiders can't handle this because I can't. I'm living in it. But so far they have. Sims on 2nd and 10. Gets time, swings it out, and Carthon makes the play. He's ahead for a gain of about 8 yards. Jerry Robinson ran him down, number 57. As Sims is now starting to look over all his receivers. Nothing open deep, so he swings it out to Carthon.
Phil Sims, this Giant team has a very deliberate pass attack, just like their running game. He finds Carthon coming out of the backfield wide open. Jerry Robinson makes the stop.
Sims now 2 for 7 for 17 yards throwing the ball.
Maurice Carthon, a big, strong power back, also has excellent hands coming out of the backfield.
The underdog Raiders in the lead, 14-7, second quarter. Carthon, not much, but he didn't need much. He'll be close to a first down. Linesman comes in. The spot might be just short to bring up 4th and less than a yard if it is. Mike Wise, number 90, close from a defensive end position to make the tackle. Game clock stopped on the official timeout with 8:22 to play. First half.
Short yardage for these Giants. I've never heard a team talk about how confident they get when they get in a short yardage situation. That's when football is broken down to its basic elements. Just fire out and hit the guy in front of you.
Get low, huh?
Yeah, and they feel like they do that as well as anybody. That's that root hog football.
Root hog football, but Burline play faked into it and then threw to Horton for the first touchdown for Los Angeles. Then he hit Fernandez with a throw down the sideline for the second. And it will be just short. So that brings up 4th down. As Al Davis looks on, Bill Parcells makes his decision. He's keeping his offense out there.
And he makes it very confidently, Don. It's not a situation like maybe we can get the first down. They've been in this situation a lot of times in the course of the season. And when they break this huddle and come to the line of scrimmage, they know they're going to get a first down. That's the confidence that they have.
Anderson's been their money back, number 24. Moat leads the blocking. Carthon gets the ball. Woo! Boy, if he got it, it's by the nose of the football. The spot is everything.
Championship football team, when you're thinking about going to the playoffs, trying to make it to the Super Bowl, on a 4th and 1 like this in the middle of the field, you got to go for it.
Raiders, as Parcells was pointing out to us, a very difficult team to run wide against. You really got to take it right at them. And here come the markers out again. And they will tell a big story when they're planted down. It's either a first down for the Giants or the Raiders, an underdog leading by 7, will take over the ball.
A lot of times in short yardage situation, Don, on a championship team, if you don't go for it, it almost punks off your linemen.
First down, Giants.
Another look, just a root hog play. Everybody just firing straight ahead. Scott Davis makes a very good come off the ball just to stand up the offensive lineman. Not good enough to keep him from getting the first down.
Sims, like Burline, plays without gloves on. On first down and 10, a deep drop. Over the middle throw, open is Cross, the tight end, and the rookie from Alabama comes down with the ball at the 25-yard line. So Howard Cross, who has stood out as a rookie blocker in the absence of Bavaro, who's still injured, makes a big catch, good for 27 yards.
Howard Cross just showing that he's really coming around. I talked to Phil Sims about Howard Cross before the game. He said he's an excellent blocker, and he just hasn't caught enough passes to become comfortable, but he is going to be a great player. And here you see Sims has a lot of confidence in him because he fires right to him. When they have Bavaro in the game, they don't hesitate to go to that tight end, and they haven't hesitated with Cross in.
A career catch as a pro for Howard Cross. It was his first one as a Giant. first down. Sims looks down again over the middle. Here's an open man. Moat, the tight end. He's down to the goal line. Not in, but it's 1st and goal Giants. As all of a sudden, Phil Sims, who could not make the connections in the wind, starts to zone in on his receivers, and the Giants are point blank to tie this game.
They like to go to that tight end. They take those wide receivers and run them down the middle of the field and try to isolate that tight end. You see Jerry Robinson, number 57, dropping back in coverage. But on the other side of the field, there's Zeke Moat. Great possession catch.
Up the middle, and in goes Otis Anderson. Anderson with his 13th touchdown of the season, and the Giants, who came in as a favorite, are now an extra point away from tying the game at 14-all.
Otis Anderson, the Plan C free agent. Nobody wanted me but
Only
me.
Otis. Extra point is up and good, and with 6:08 to play in the first half, the Giants and the Raiders are locked up at 14.
If you don't want to slow down on your way to the...
With AHMAD RASHAD, this is Don CRIQUI back at Giant Stadium. 6:08 to play in the first half. And the Giants have just tied the game on Otis Anderson's 13th touchdown of the season. Free ball. Picked up by Stephon Adams, and then he is blasted. Guyton, 29, an impact tackler, almost freed the ball. We've had a turnover each way, and there will be more on this bitter cold day.
On the touchdown, watch number 61, Bob Cratch, on this block here with Bill Pickel. He just nails it down, and then Otis Anderson finds the spot. There's the block. Anderson finds that crack and gets into the end zone.
Very difficult to handicap the wind here. Streamers atop the goalpost uprights are pretty much not affected by wind, but it swirls higher up. Chill factor way below 0. Steve Smith, big back, takes it ahead, gets it across the 20-yard line. John Fourcade has thrown for a touchdown in New Orleans to Eric Martin, and the Saints now lead the Colts 10-3. The Eagles up on the Cardinals 14-7. 2nd down and 5 arises now for the Los Angeles Raiders as the super fast Willie Galt comes wide left to the bottom of your screen, averaging just under 26 yards a catch. Burline looking to buy time, and he finally throws it away. Fernandez tried to come back at the ball, but Burline did well to escape a sack there, AHMAD.
Certainly did. He showed that his mobility is so well, because they had him trapped. He retreated back and then almost got a chance to find Mervin Fernandez. Now you see Lawrence Taylor. You will never see Lawrence Taylor going against one guy. Right now he's going against one, but wait. Here comes the other guy, and they've bent him backwards. Lawrence is used to getting this kind of attention, and a lot of times 2 guys are not enough.
And he sees 2 guys about every down. Burline with some exceptional throwing numbers on this tough day to throw.
8 for 12, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
They're down. The Raiders need 5. Larry Williams with some good D. Leonard Marshall with a big rush. There's a penalty marker down.
Perry Williams appeared to go right over the top of the receiver.
Marker down in the Giants secondary on a 3rd and 5 play. Alexander thinks it's going the Raiders' way, and it is, as Gene Barth gives the interference call against New York. Bill Parcells said, when we don't turn it over, we win. When we turn it over, we lose.
Interference, defense, first down.
Pass interference. It appears that number 23, Perry Williams, goes right over the top of Mervin Fernandez. Watch 23 Perry Williams. Ball's on its way. That left arm up there grabs him on the shoulder, and he just flips over the top. That is pass interference every time. And Mervin says yes.
So the Raiders get a first down. The ball is positioned now at their 33-yard line. Allen playing more and more for Bo Jackson in this game. Marcus in the backfield with Steve Smith. Marcus lead blocker. Smith takes a hit and keeps on going. Leonard Marshall put a head-on shot on him. And Smith, a 235-pound back in his third year from Penn State, shot ahead for a gain on the play of about 4 yards.
Anybody that has watched the Raiders over the years, when you watch that number 35, you think of Hewitt Dixon, that he runs a lot like Hewitt Dixon. Very powerful running back.
Raiders got him in the 3rd round. Quarterback Burline came in the 4th round. He was Notre Dame's all-time passing leader when he left there. Today, Montana was a late 3rd-round choice. Burline seems to rally the team more than Schrader. Here's Bo in there, and Bo breaks it. Taken on tacklers. Jackson's ahead for a Raider first down. Coming up to make the tackle on the play, one of the safeties, Myron Guyton.
Bo Jackson has so much explosion. He has turbo speed. He can be going at 1,000 miles an hour on his 2nd or 3rd step. So a lot of times you think you got the guy stopped. You have a little crack. He gets there in a hurry. He helps everybody. With this kind of speed, you don't have to stay on your block very long. And Bo won't hesitate to try to run over you, too.
Hard to believe him now that Bo was a 7th-round draft choice of the Raiders. He was the first pick in the draft by Tampa Bay. Said he wouldn't play there. Sat out the year. Burline picks it up. Broken play. On first down, he did well just to save possession of the ball. It'll be 2nd down and about 14. Jackson came to the Raiders in '86. Talk that the Royals are trying to lure him with a 5-year contract for $20 million to play baseball exclusively. But as Al Davis said on NFL Live, he expects him to play both.
The thing that was interesting about what Al Davis said is, why not play both for maybe $10 million a year? You know what I mean? The sky's the limit when you talk about how much money this guy ought to make as an athlete.
Thing about Jackson, he can carry it for 1 yard, 2 yards, no yards, and bang, 90 yards. He can take it in from anywhere on the field anytime he touches it. Here's the sack. Lawrence Taylor comes over the top. And Burline is down again. Lawrence Taylor with the 2nd sack of the game.
As you start to play this game, you start to get a feel for Lawrence Taylor. And if in the past you had a certain amount of time to throw the ball, if Lawrence Taylor's on the field, take 2 seconds off of it, because you will not have that time. You see Burline, he was in the pocket there. Lawrence Taylor just ran through everybody. Lawrence Taylor is blocked right now, but look at Lawrence, just a bull move where he just runs number 66, Rory Graves, right back into the quarterback.
Joe Gibbs of Washington, who's had the best game plans offensively against the Giants perhaps over the years since Taylor's been here. Every single down has him at least double teamed. Downfield throw, open man, and Mike Alexander comes down with the ball at the 30-yard line. So Burline takes a beat and gets up and pops a downfield throw, good for 34 yards, down to the Giants' 31-yard line.
And this is what the Raiders of old used to do. Just when you think you had them stopped, all of a sudden they'd get a guy like Alexander that gets free. But this pass is threaded right through 3 people, and a very nice catch by Mike Alexander. The Raiders always put the fear that at some time or other somebody's going to make a big play. And when we talked to Parcells the other day, he said they've got so many... 2-minute warning, that they've got so many big play players that it's got to worry you. They've got Jackson, Galt, Fernandez, Allen, and Alexander.
We'll be back to Giant Stadium after this. Speculation continues. Where will the Raiders play? Should they leave the Coliseum in Los Angeles? On NFL Live today, Al Davis told Bob Costas that they need an intimate stadium where the crowd noise can affect play. Sam Weich talked about the 61-7 route over the Oilers affecting last night's game when Houston was beaten by Cleveland. Bobby Bethard says the Cowboys are about to dismantle their current scouting system. Jimmy Johnson will be ahead of all personnel. We're going to NFL Live at halftime as with 2 minutes left to play in the first half. A tie game, and the Raiders have the ball 1st and 10, and there goes Bo down to the 25. Jackson off tackle slant, just exceptional speed. And now, while we have a moment, back to NFL Live in New York. Bob?
One simple thing in all the complex wildcard possibilities, Don. All the other wildcard contenders need Indianapolis to lose in the AFC, and losing they are after Eric Martin makes this touchdown catch on the pass from John Fourcade late in the 2nd quarter. 10-3 Saints. Isn't AHMAD glad that he's out in the field now so he doesn't have to be in that goofy NFL Live picture?
That's suitable for framing photo.
That's right, Rob. I passed on that one. Did you guys send that out for Christmas? Is that a Christmas card?
Here's a handoff. It goes to Smith. He loses the ball, and the Giants have it. Pepper Johnson comes up with the ball. Raiders arguing that the ground caused the fumble. I'm sure we'll take another look at this on review. Gary Reasons looked like the guy had knocked it free, and Pepper Johnson, 52, came up with it.
At the top of the game, I said that the toughest thing to do in cold weather is to hang on to the football. Here you see Smith coming over. Reasons the first one to get there and rips the ball out, but it looked like his knee may have been down. Looked like his right knee was down when that ball came out. Here's another look. Now watch Steve Smith as he comes. Watch his left knee. Left knee appeared to be, once again, watch his left knee. Reason with his hands on the ball. Left knee is down, and now the ball comes out.
All right. So the review is on, and a most important one. Pepper Johnson may have had a fumble recovery, but as you point out, Ahmad, the knee was down when the ball came out.
Strangely enough, you see the Giants offensive team is on the field. The Raiders defensive team out there. I don't know if that's a concession or not.
Let's watch it again.
Watch Smith's left knee. You see Reason's right arm on the ball now. Watch his left knee. His left knee is down. The ball still has the ball. Now the ball comes out.
Game clock down to 1:11 to play in the 1st half.
We have a reversal. The runner was down by contact. It's still a Raiders ball.
Ahmad, you do it all up here.
I'm telling you, it's all-star, huh?
That was right, though. He's down as soon as that knee's down if he's in possession. So the Raiders send back out their offense with 71 ticks of the clock remaining in the 1st half. Tie game on a bitter cold day.
And a very big reversal here, Don. They were moving down very easily down the field trying to get down in scoring position. Had they lost that ball, that would have been a very big play right there.
Wind chill was -7 at kickoff. It's below that now.
Steve Berline asking for
So
time.
Berline, who's having a sensational day, comes to the sideline. He'll be ready to run the offense in a moment. The 10-minute ticker tells the story on this final Sunday of play. Raiders need the Colts to lose, and they're losing at New Orleans right now, 10-6. 3rd down. Berline and the Raiders need 4 in this tie game at Giant Stadium. Home run ball. Too much on it. They're trying to hit the streaking Willie Gault. Gary Kennard, the free safety, running with him stride for stride. Jaeger, the field goal kicker, comes out. He has not been effective long. He's only made 5 of 13 outside the 40 this year. A second-year kicker from the University of Washington. Reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser most valuable player for today's game at the conclusion of the game.
I talked to Bart Oates before the game. He said one of the toughest things to do in this weather with the wind blowing is snap on a kick.
He was out here early doing it.
This will be very important to see if Mosbar can get the snap back.
Tough to hold, too. Berline does that. Kicks on the way. And he hits it. Jaeger rips a 43-yard field goal with 1 minute and 2 seconds to play in the 1st half. And the Raiders have broken the tie and taken a 17-14 lead. Raiders came in the local papers as a full touchdown underdog. They'd not played the Giants since '86 when New York won at the LA Coliseum 14-9.
They played themselves into such a position last week and then went and lost that game to Seattle. I talked to Art Shell about that, and Art said, you know, as a Raider team, we seem to always have to do things the hard way.
Kick off the new year in style with NBC's Championship Monday College Bowl lineup. The excitement begins with the Hall of Fame Bowl with the powerful Auburn Tigers, the team that beat Alabama, take on the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Then the high-scoring Florida State Seminoles go against the Cornhuskers of Nebraska in the Fiesta Bowl. Followed by the game which will determine the national championship. It's the Orange Bowl as the #1 ranked and undefeated Colorado Buffaloes take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Get ready for the best bowl lineup of the season. Championship Monday, New Year's Day on NBC Sports. It was a sunny day at the outset. Now it's cloudy, overcast. George Blanda's club record for the season, 23 field goals, as Jaeger just hit a 43-yarder to give the Raiders the lead. Meggett, who ran back to punt 76 yards, on the way again. And Meggett is finally taken down by the last line of defense for the Raiders, but he crossed midfield. Jeff Jaeger, the kickoff man, was one of the guys that got him.
Dave Meggett is out to show Art Shell and the rest of this crowd he deserves to be in that Pro Bowl. There is no finer feeling for an athlete to be named to that Pro Bowl, have a game that week, and be able to go out and show everybody this is why everybody voted me as the best kickoff return man in the league. Dave Meggett, very strong, powerful runner that keeps his feet. And now watch him cover up the ball here to make sure that he doesn't have a turnover. He put both hands on the ball right there.
Giants felt that Denver win was one of the keys to their season when they beat the Broncos at Mile High. And Meggett, you remember, had the 57-yard run after a pass from Sims. Here's Phil Sims on the run. Markers are down as Phil Sims isn't done. Pitches it back to Stacy Robinson. But it could all come back. There's a marker down at the line of scrimmage.
I think Brian Williams was holding on that play.
So does Gene Barth, the referee. So it comes back with 43 seconds to play. First half.
One of the few times.
Holding 59 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
59, Brian Williams holding on that play. And the reason I knew it was him was as soon as that flag hit the ground, he went and started complaining to the official. That's one of the few times that you'll see offense lateral the ball back. Usually it's a defense. Now there's Williams under 59, man-to-man. It gets caught. It gets his hand caught up in Howie Long's face mask. That's not only holding, but his face mask.
Perfect takedown, but it negates a big play for the Giants. And now the down goes back to first, but it's 20 for the first down. Shotgun set. 3 wide receivers in the game. Back to maximum protection for Sims, who throws it downfield to Meggett. And the Raiders catch him in just in time because Meggett had an open track. Had not the big linebacker defensive end Greg Townsend. He alternates at both. Caught Meggett from behind. Giants call timeout. As you see, 32 seconds left for Parcells' team in the first half.
And the temperature's dropping here, Don. Phil Sims started the game with no gloves. Now he's got one glove on his left hand, and he keeps his right hand free. I guess that's so he still has touch on the ball, but he's certainly covering up that left hand. As you see, the Raiders and the Giants both with 2 timeouts left.
One year the Raiders played the Jets in the AFC Championship game at Shea Stadium back in '68. The season the Jets went on to win the Super Bowl. Al Davis sent in a construction crew at 5 o'clock in the morning in the dark at night. They built a lean-to hut around the Raider bench. He had called the Army's Arctic Command to find out the best materials to use. When Weave Eubank came in and walked on the field when daybreak came, they thought Weave was going to have the big one there. Commissioner Milt Woodard made the Raiders take it down.
Either that or build one on the other side.
Whoops. Golick leaves early.
Defense, number 79. Encroachment. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Still the same 5 yards.
Same 5 yards. Sounds better, though, I guess.
32 seconds to play in the first half. Raiders 17, Giants 14. Sims letting it rip. Going deep. Lionel Manuel. Coverage is good by Lionel Washington. Long out. Giants and Raiders each with 2 timeouts left. Parcells was as intense this week getting ready for this game. He thought it's absolutely critical To get to the Super Bowl, that this has to be won.
You've got to go into the playoffs on the fly, and that's what Parcells knows. You don't want to back in. You don't want to go into the playoffs off of a loss. You want to keep getting better as you get closer to the tournament, and that's what Parcells is looking for his team to do. Great coaching job. I agree with O.J. Simpson, as he said in the pregame show. Parcells has done a great coaching job this year.
He says our team kind of hangs around, stays in the game, and then we finally pull it out. Now here's a throw. It's completed to Lionel Manuel. He fakes the fly, goes to the slant, and the Giants call a timeout with 17 seconds to play. The Giants' regular field goal kicker, Raul Alegre, has been out for an extended period of time with a badly pulled muscle in his thigh. Bjorn Nitmo came off their developmental squad, and he's been good. He's the guy that'll try the field goal if that's what needs to be done before halftime.
Lionel Manuel with a quick underneath move. Nice possession catch right there. But Don, as you were speaking about Bjorn Nitmo, I talked to him, and he has a real even keel guy for a kicker. He says, I just go out there in that funny looking ball and I just kick it. I don't think he's a guy that gets nervous or he doesn't realize how much is hinging on his field goal attempt. He just goes out and kicks the ball. And Parcells says we haven't lost much with him.
We're up near Natsvilander, he was saying, in Sweden.
That's right. He said, this weather doesn't bother me. He said, in Sweden, we play soccer in this weather in shorts.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Ron Earhart, the Giants offensive coordinator, said everything's relative. Some pals of his, he's from Fargo, North Dakota, who called him from the Fargo Elks Club the other night. Said it was minus 78 there, so they were staying inside to have their fun. First down and 10 for the Giants with 17 seconds to play. Long ball, man-on-man race. Stephen Baker dives for the ball, and a marker goes down. Terry McDaniel, the Raiders' best cover man, number 36, is going to be flagged for a pushing foul. And with 12 seconds to go, the Giants will have it first and goal.
There was contact at least 20 yards of that pattern. They were bumping each other back and forth. And Terry...
We'll be watching this again. 17-14 Raiders, but that could change in a moment.
Right now. You see Stephen Baker. Now watch McDaniel bumping him in the back. They're bumping back and forth.
Didn't look too bad, though, did it?
No, but as they were going, they were sort of bumping into each other. McDaniel had a funny position to where his back was turned to the receiver, and they're just elbowing each other all the way down the field. That's a big play. Huge play.
One turnover each way. Interference call against Art Shell's Raiders positions the ball at the 11-yard line. Giants set up with Manuel wide right. Sims calls for quiet. Doesn't get a whole lot of it, but enough to call the snap count. Into the end zone, and nobody's open, so Sims throws it towards row A. 6 seconds left. Hostetler, the holder. Hold will be at the 18-yard line. Makes it a 28-yard field goal. Bjorn Nitmo delivers, and the game is tied again with 2 seconds to play in the first half. So the pass interference call against Terry McDaniel, the Raiders, leads to the tying field goal, 17-17. The Giants suffered their worst defeat of the season. They were beaten badly out there by the Rams. They don't want to go back. The Giants win today's game. They're assured of winning the division and being at home in 2 weeks for a divisional playoff game. Squid kick downfield. Dan Turk falls on it at the 39-yard line. 1 second left. Raiders want to play now. People start up after the tackle, and the penalty marker goes down. Scoreboard clock still shows a second to be played.
Emmanuel King, number 92.
Right, a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 92 of the Raiders will penalize from the dead ball spot. First down.
It was indeed against Emmanuel King, a former number 1 of the Bengals.
Right at the end of this play, you'll see Emmanuel King throw one of those Mike Tyson lefts, which didn't really hit anybody. He sort of pushed the guy in the face mask. which comes right at the end of the play. You can see right there. Oh. Right at the bottom of the frame.
Got Adrian end the half.
Well, with Willie Gault lined up as a halfback, I don't think they're going to run a play.
That'll do it. A standoff through 2 quarters of play. The Raiders and the Giants tied up at 17-17. So Los Angeles, in a game that many thought they would not do well in this bitter cold, do very well indeed, as Parcells and the Giants, in a game they consider vital, go to the locker room tied up. NFL Live is coming up next. And back at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey, halftime score is the Raiders 17 and the Giants 17. The Raiders coming to this game as a full touchdown underdog, but playing exceptionally well. And you get the feeling as this game wears on, AHMAD, RASHAD, that we could see more turnovers. There was one each way here in the first half. But this weather's getting worse, and the hitting intensity is as high or higher at the outset.
It really does. As I mentioned earlier, one of the toughest things when you got a cold weather game is holding on to that football. And that plays a major role as the game goes on and the temperature starts to go down.
Steve Berline, who played in a lot of cold weather games at Notre Dame, he's a native Southern California and probably had the best first half of any player on the field, as he hit all over the field with some deep throws and got the ball into the end zone twice for both Raider touchdowns. The Giants capitalizing late in the second quarter on a pass interference call against Terry McDaniel. And shortly thereafter, Bjorn Nitmo hit the tying field goal. But I think the Giants expected him out coming in to put them away early, and they have not.
They really did. And what the Giants like to do is have that ball control. They like to have that big time of possession when you look at the stat sheet. But as the first half has gone, the Raiders have had the ball 19 minutes to 11 minutes for the Giants.
Well, as we look at the first half numbers, the Raiders have a big advantage in time of possession. Look at that. And also in total yards, 159 to 107. Sims could not throw it all early. He was just 2 for his first 9. And then he started to get on target, move the ball downfield. But it is a bitter cold day. As mentioned throughout, it was -7 chill factor at the outset of the day. It is way below that now. And in this area of New Jersey, the winds tend to pick up greatly late in the day on a cold day. Nobody knows better than that than Parcells and Sims, who live in it and who win in it. And here we go now to the second half kickoff as the ball is hit downfield, and running it back is Mark Ingram for the Giants. He crosses the 30, and he's not done as he's out across the 35-yard line. Dennis Price, a defensive back from UCLA, number 20, saved a lot more return yards from going against the Raiders when he cornered Ingram and knocked him down.
Without Dennis Price there to make that play, I'm talking about we're going all the way the other way. This was a touchdown without that touchdown-saving tackle. Fine play by Dennis Price, number 20.
And a 25-yard return. Fernandez is over the 1,000-yard mark receiving for the Raiders this season. He had a standout first half. In the end zone once with the ball. Horton caught the other touchdown pass. Giants on offense have Eric Moore and Doug Riesenberg at tackles. William Roberts and Brian Williams at guards. Bart Oates is their center. Bill Sims at quarterback. Started the day with 14 touchdown throws and 14 interceptions.
Bart Oates didn't like that ball, called for a new ball.
Carthon goes right. Sims throws a screen. Up for grabs. It's incomplete. O.J. Anderson, the intended receiver.
And O.J., a pretty good receiver coming out of the backfield. This ball just a little bit high, and it hit him right on the top of his fingers. Here you see Greg Townsend. He's coming in. Now he's getting hailed right there by Moore. He's got him right underneath the chin, but he doesn't get called for it. Win some, you lose some.
Interesting amount. The Giants have only gotten one ball to a wide receiver. Manuel has the only wide receiver reception for 11 yards. Virtually all the Raider passing yards has come to Fernandez, Alexander, or Galt. Those three have combined. Here's Sims looking for a long ball downfield. Robinson can't get to it, trying to adjust to the ball in flight. Lionel Washington covering.
The Raiders have always been very good on man-to-man on the outside wide receivers. Al Davis is a type of owner that goes out and tries to find guys that can play man-to-man defense, so you can free up your linebackers, free up your safeties, and let those corners play man-to-man. They've done a very fine job today. But when you talk about the Giants, they like to go to that tight end. They miss Bavaro, but Zeke Mowatt is trying to take up the slack. See him, 6 for 15, 40% of his passes.
First possession of the third quarter. Giants with the ball, and coming on through a bit early is Howie Long. We'll see if he was drawn off. Howie and his wife, the proud parents of their third child.
75 defense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Howie Jr. was born a couple of nights ago.
Here's the infraction. You see Howie just setting in the stance and then taking off a lot early. That's where, you know, when you're running in like that and nobody else moves, you know you went too quick.
Third down comes up for the Giants. 3rd and 5. Sims with that one glove on, not on his throwing hand. No, look at that stick. Eddie Anderson, the free safety, comes up with a thunderous hit on rookie Dave Meggett just as the ball came in.
They play inside and outside on Dave Meggett because they know one man can't cover him. As he breaks to the outside, here comes Eddie Anderson, number 33, and just as that ball gets there, he puts a nice hitting surface there on him, knocks him down and knocks the ball away. Eddie Anderson.
He was cut by Seattle. Has been a big player for the Raiders this season. Sean Landeta now into punt for New York. There's Stephon Adams back for the Raiders. Booming punt by Landeta. Stephon Adams fields it inside his 5. He might have been well advised to let it go into the end zone. Here's a penalty marker down on the tackle. The Raiders will start deep in their own end. Dan Land might have made an illegal block trying to free Stephon Adams. As Landeta, who's been an all-pro player, hit a 56-yard punt.
This was not a good decision to catch that ball. That ball was headed into the end zone.
Illegal block in the back, number 25 during the run back. After distance to the goal line. First down.
The lower right side of your frame, you see just a block right there in the back.
How bad was that?
By Dan Land. That's just an obvious clip. That's a mistake compounding another mistake. The first mistake was catching the ball down there inside the 5-yard line, and then you compound that mistake with that block by Land, and the Raiders are not in very good field position right here, to say the least.
And the Giants will be hunting the football here. Raiders' first possession of the second half. 96 yards from the Giant end zone. They go to Smith. He gets him a little room as he gets out to the 6-yard line. Gary Reasons and Pepper Johnson, a couple of inside backers combined on the tackle. Gain of just 2 yards on the play. There's Gary Reasons, who made a much publicized hit of Bobby Humphrey on a goal line stand in the Denver game. The Giants went on to beat the Broncos 14-7. 76,000 strong. This stadium is sold out on a season ticket basis for both the Giants and the Jets. Bo Jackson breaks it up the middle, and after he's down, a penalty marker comes in. Giants are pointing at the Raiders. You see how close Jackson was to go in the distance. Holding call against the Raiders.
Art Shell, being a former all-world offensive lineman himself, does not like a call like that down in this area. They were just one.
Holding, 68 offense. After distance to the goal line.
Wilkerson.
Puts the ball on about the 2.5-yard line. Replay the second down.
Bo Jackson was just a stumble away from showing everybody how you take a ball plus 90 yards, because nobody touched him when he was back into the secondary before he stumbled and fell down.
Yeah, that negated a 9-yard gain as it was. It would have been a first down. Instead, it's second down and 11. Game is tied, 17 all. They pick up the blitz, but the ball is slapped back. John Washington, number 73, playing left end, got a hand on the ball. Third down and 11 comes up for the Raiders.
Steve Berline looking for Bo Jackson again on that play. It's a fine play by Washington just to get his hands up. You want to get in the face of those quarterbacks. That's just a hurry. Sometimes, you know, things like that, when you hurry a quarterback, it's almost more important than making a sack. Look to the right-hand side of your screen. You see Johnson get his arm up and just knock this ball away.
Lone wideout is Galt. They go to the run, just looking for room to punt the ball. They go straight ahead, and John Washington again makes the play, along with Eric Howard, the nose tackle, and Gary Reasons. Field position tells the story at this point in the game, a tie game, but the Raider punter is deep in his end zone now to kick the ball. Jeff Gossett. And the Giants return man, who's run one back today for 76 yards for a touchdown, Dave Meggett, is standing at his 48.
We'll talk about return men. The biggest mistake of this game so far was Stephon Adams catching that ball inside the 5.
Shank punt. We'll see what the bounce is like. It takes a Raider bounce, and it hits Meggett in the face, and he falls on it at the 40. So the Giants' second possession of the third quarter will originate at the 40-yard line of the Raiders. No scoring up yet in the second half as they start up after the whistle. Giant Stadium in the winter can be an Arctic wind tunnel, and the wind is kicking up and the temperature is dropping. Giants are set to go on offense. Good field position to start their second drive of the third quarter. All inside the Raider 40. Tie game 17 all. Power run. O.J. Anderson takes it down to the 37-yard line.
This is a very critical penalty right here because the Raiders have a chance to get out of trouble right here with this run by Bo Jackson. But we get a holding call here. And it's just things starting to snowball. Mental errors trying to snowball for the Raiders with first the bad punt decision by Adams. Then you get a clipping penalty. And then you get a holding penalty. Any more penalties like that, the Raiders will run themselves out of business.
Stephon Adams fielding a punt inside his 5 when he could have let it go into the end zone. Here is Anderson getting the swing pass. On a second down and 8 play, he's ahead for maybe 3 or 4 yards. Mike Harden, the Raiders' strong safety, the former Denver Bronco, knocked him down.
O.J. Anderson, even though he's 32 years old, always, and this has been a trademark of his entire career, he always gets positive yardage. He's always a guy that's always going forward. You don't see him too often where he gets in a situation where he'll get dropped for minus yardage. He's always going forward. Very strong in the legs.
Broke all the rushing records at Miami of Florida of your old teammate, Chuck Foreman.
One of the greatest I've ever played with, Chuck Foreman.
Probably the best in the league in his heyday. Anderson came into the league in '79 and rushed for over 1,600 yards as a rookie. Sims in the flat. Meggett makes the play, and he's down inside the 20-yard line. They had him isolated out of the backfield on linebacker Jerry Robinson. It was an overmatch. Meggett's too fast. 13 yards and a Raider first down.
And Jerry Robinson, as I said earlier in the game, his biggest fear was trying to cover Dave Meggett. He just got him one-on-one, and now Robinson knows it's just a foot race right here. And there's not one linebacker in the league, I think, that can cover Dave Meggett out of the backfield. He just puts too much pressure on a linebacker. He has too much going forward for a linebacker to be able to cover him running backwards.
He was the 1AA Player of the Year at Towson State. Last year, 5th-round pick of the Giants as Anderson runs. The Raiders hold on. Lionel Washington, the right side cornerback, 48, got a hold of a leg and didn't let go as O.J. takes it down to the 15. As we look at the scoreboard now, Eagles with a 7-point lead over Phoenix. New Orleans has extended its lead over the Indianapolis Colts to 17-6 in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're
That's
down
good
there.
news for the Raiders.
They're down there talking about who dat down there in New Orleans.
Yeah, that club won't be in the playoffs, but they've beaten a lot of teams that are going. Rams playing well in the cold at New England. Second down and 5 for Sims and the Giants, and now they go to Anderson, straight ahead run game, and he takes it down to the 13-yard line. Anderson with a lot of carries this year, averages just 3.1, but he's approaching 1,000 yards for the season.
This is the kind of offense that the Giants like to get you, the kind of a football game that they like to get you in, where they have the ball for quite a long time and keep you on your end of the field. So even if you do get the ball back, you're always operating from a minus situation.
Field position's been the Raiders. There's the Giants in the second half. They've been plus field position all half. They go to 2 tight ends now, ready to power run right. Anderson right is cut down in a hard jolting hit at the 11-yard line. A 3rd and 2 carry is short of the first down. Thomas Benson, who's been a big player for the Raiders, a Plan B free agent, came in from New England, and Oklahoma backer number 52 or 54 made the head-on strike. Will the Giants look to break the tie with a field goal? They have 4th and a yard. Watch your kick it.
Bill Parcells looking out there pointing, saying, go ahead, boys. If we're going to get the big prize, we're going to have to get in a situation like this and come out successful. Even if they don't, they still got the Raiders down in their own end, and the strength of their team is their defense.
And the form chart favors the Giants on these 4th down attempts. As you see, 16 of 21 they've converted. 4th and a yard over the top, and Anderson has a first down for the Giants. He's down to the 10-yard line with 9:06 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Talking about a coach being a player's coach. Players love decisions like that. It gives you a chance to show what you can do. You have an offensive line like this that has a guy in the backfield that's close to 1,000 yards. For the last 3 years, they've always had a great running back, and that starts with the offensive line. So you give them a yard to go, they honestly believe that they can get it every single time.
Anderson needs about 21 yards now to reach 1,000 yards for his 5th season as a pro. Hasn't been there since '84. Here's Anderson looking at the end zone. He's down to the 5 on a cutback run. Benson got him. So the Giants with field position, and Parcells' team going to that power game now, Ahmad, trying to just push it into the end zone.
You know, he's an old tackle himself. He played a little offensive tackle, and he knows that you got a line like they got with a bunch of 300-pounders on down there. What you want to do now is just lean on them guys in front of you and just keep powering it into the end zone.
Extended drive. Giants have owned the ball in the 3rd quarter, but the game is still tied. That could change as O.J. Anderson takes it down to the goal line. No signal. He's down close, but not in. Big block by Moat. Big block by the other tight end, Cross. Mike Wise made the tackle.
That is called the avalanche effect. You saw the offensive line pushing ahead, and once O.J. Anderson got in there and started pushing along with those offensive linemen, the pile just kept going backwards and backwards.
Clock running, 7:20 to play in the 3rd quarter. Anderson, the lone setback. Power blocker Carthon is set right. They could be going that way. Anderson up the middle and takes it in. And the Giants break the tie. O.J. Anderson with the personal best 14th touchdown of this season. Extra point by Nitmo was up and good. So the decision to field a punt inside his 5 by Stephon Adams looms large as field position has led to this Giant score.
See, this is real football here. You see William Roberts, number 66, right here, just power over number 79, Bob Golick. And then O.J. Anderson, who they say is too old, he only touched the ball 9 out of the 10-play drive, 8 rushes and 1 reception, and takes it right there into the end zone. Here comes O.J. Anderson. The reason I call this real football, see, they got them little light wide receivers and people out of the game. They got the real boys in there now, and Al Davis looking on with some concern, and rightly so.
But you remember, the Raiders were down at the outset of the 1st quarter on a 76-yard punt return by Meggett and came back to take the lead. Now they're down by a touchdown again. Here comes Stephon Adams on the return. He is out to the 26-yard line with 6:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. And now we go to NFL Live in New York to Bob Costas. Bob?
Okay, Don, all the other AFC wildcard contenders hoping that the Colts will lose at the Superdome. The Saints are doing their part. Bobby Morse fields the punt. On the reverse, he hands it to Robert Massey. 54 yards later, the Saints are in business deep in Colt territory. Dalton Hilliard scored from the 7. New Orleans 17, Indianapolis 6. Back to Don and Ahmad.
So that is good news for the Raiders. The scoreboard putting pressure on the Giants. The Eagles are winning at home today. A Giant victory gives them the divisional title and assures them home field and a week off in a divisional playoff game. But a Giant loss means they'll have to go to play the Rams in all probability in the wild card next week at Anaheim. Rams are winning handily at New England. Out throw. Willie Gault dives at the ball. Did he get it? Official says no.
This ball got into Willie Gault's chest and then bounced out. If you watch right at the end, Willie Gault, number 83, the ball gets right into his chest and then bounces off that shoulder pad onto the ground, and that's a very good call by the official, standing right on top of it.
Yep, hit the ground. Gault has the best reception average in the AFC. Almost 26 yards. He doesn't catch that many. He's only got 26 catches.
But with him in the lineup, he always put the fear that he may go deep at any time.
Fernandez has been the guy. They're looking at him now. A downfield throw to Gault. And Willie Gault has the ball, and they ruled that he's got it apparently. It looked like it came in on the one hop. Another official's coming in and says no.
It certainly looked like it hit the ground. Where just as we were talking about Willie Gault always have it being a threat, because you never know when he's going to take off and go deep. Here he just runs a corner pattern. He runs to the post and breaks it out to the corner. Now the ball can be thrown anywhere in that area. You can't hardly see it from that look. Here's another look. This is a better look. Watch the ball. Yep. Oh, yeah, it gets right through his hands, right to the ground. Great look there. That was an excellent shot at seeing that ball go through Gault's hand and bouncing off the ground.
Berline. 3rd and 10. Looking to fire on the run. Here comes Marshall, and Berline wisely throws it away. The Raiders will have to punt the ball. Mervyn Fernandez was in the general vicinity, but he wasn't open. Berline was forced to throw it away so as not to take a behind-the-line loss.
Berline a little bit upset by that because he had some time to throw the ball. He just couldn't find an open receiver.
Jeff Gossett is in to punt the ball now for Los Angeles, and Dave Meggett, the ever-dangerous Meggett, is back inside his 35. A high punt. Meggett from his 43. Here he goes. Look out, look out. Dave Meggett inside the 40, puts a move on, and gets away from the punter and is finally run out of bounds. Gossett got enough of him to force him to run out. But again, the field position tells the story of this critical game. The Giants again have great field position to start a new drive. A 42-yard punt and a 23-yard return.
Dave Meggett is electrifying. He takes this ball with defenders in his face and then just takes off downfield, always looking for a chance to break the big one.
So now the pressure is on the Raider D.
They predicted a gloomy year for everyone.
Dave Meggett joining Taylor and Long, two Pro Bowl veterans in Honolulu in January. How about those return numbers of Meggett's on the punts, Ahmad?
4 punts, 124 yards, 26-yard average on those punt returns. I think that he has convinced everybody why he's going to the Pro Bowl.
He did the first punt return of the game, a 76-yard return for a touchdown. Giants have the ball in a 7-point lead. 6:22 to play, third quarter. Pitch back. Running high with the ball is Lewis Tillman, a first-year back from Jackson State. They think he could turn into a game breaker. Lewis Tillman, breakaway speed. Howie Long got him, number 75. Eagles continue to lead Phoenix. New Orleans still in command of the Indianapolis Colts in the fourth quarter now at the Superdome, where Super Bowl 24 will be played. Steelers having a great year. They're a long shot for the playoffs, but they're going to finish 9-7. New England getting back into the game with the Rams now. Second down and 10. Tillman failed to gain on his first carry. Sims over the middle throw, and the play is made by Cross. Another standout reception by the first-year tight end from Alabama. Howard Cross, whose first catch for the Giants was good for 27, this time comes down with a 24-yard reception, and the Giants are challenging to score yet again.
This is a confidence builder if you're a receiver and the quarterback sees you covered and still throws you the ball anyway. A great throw by Phil Sims. And Howard Cross, a man not noted for his catching ability, has shown today that if you throw him the ball, he can catch it. He's a great blocker.
First down and 10 for the first down. First and 11 for a touchdown. Fighting for yards is O.J. Anderson. This second half absolutely turned on one play. Giants came out. Raiders stopped him. Raiders on a punt return decision by Stephon Adams. He fielded it over the shoulder inside his 5. Found themselves deep in their own end. They couldn't get out of trouble. The subsequent punt was taken by the Giants, and soon after they were in for the go-ahead touchdown.
And no one knows that better than Al Davis. In a game like this, which has, it's just like a playoff game. It's usually a one mistake that turns the tide in a game like this. And that mistake, so far, has been done, as you said, that punt catch by Stephon Adams.
Anderson hit by Benson at the 4-yard line on a second down and 7 play. Got ahead for 4. Giant is down.
Otis Anderson.
Might be Brian Williams, the right guard, 300-pound rookie from Minnesota. Game clock stop with 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Starting today at right guard. Giants with a huge offensive line, a lot of high picks in there, and they're all starting to come together as one of the league's best. But it doesn't look like Brian Williams will be back today, Ahmad.
No, when you go off on, and you see he just gets his legs caught up underneath the O.J. Anderson. There's knee, hits right on that right knee. And just twisted as he goes down. He was able to stand up before he sat down on this little truck to be taken off. We hope it's not serious.
Giants have had good success against AFC West teams. They won, beat the Chargers, beat Seattle, and beat Denver, and allowed in those 3 games only 1 offensive touchdown in total. Raiders are 1-6 on the road. Only win was right here in Giant Stadium against the Jets this year on the road. Sims looks, fires. Incomplete. It's caught, but he was out of bounds. Mark Ingram, who only had 17 catches coming into the game, a former #1 out of Michigan State, but about 10 of them are highlight reel catches. He can really make the acrobatic catch. Here comes Bjorn Nitmo, now looking to extend the Giants' lead to 10 points with 3:32 to play in the third quarter.
Know where you are in that end zone as a receiver. It doesn't do any good to catch that ball if you're out of bounds. You got, at least if you got a chance at it, make sure you got a chance to come down in the end zone.
Nitmo hit one just before halftime to tie the game, 17-all. He delivers again, and the Giants have the biggest lead of this game as they're out in front of the Raiders by a 27-17 count. I hate to harp on it, but that decision to try and return a punt from inside his 5 cost the Raiders dearly. It cost them field position, and it led to scores. Let's go to Bob.
All right, Don, here's some more good news for the other AFC wildcard contenders, especially the Oilers, who are in if the Colts lose, in as a wild card. And the Colts are losing. John Fourcade flushed out of the pocket, finds Hobie Brenner wide open for the 30-yard touchdown. Ron Myers in an 18-point hole in the fourth quarter, 24-6 New Orleans. Don?
Thank you, Bob. And here's the count here at Giant Stadium. Giants in the lead, 27-17. With 3:29 to play in the third quarter.
Don, games like Stephon Adams carrying a little bit of a burden right now. I'm sure he wants to do something big right now to get out of, to make up for fielding that punt not long ago. Down inside the 5-yard line.
Eagles continue to lead Phoenix by a touchdown, and as you saw, New Orleans putting away the Colts. So that helps the Raiders, but they have to help themselves. And right now here at Giant Stadium as they trail by 10. The Raiders have an all-pro kick returner who's out for the season, and former Heisman winner Tim Brown, who went out with a knee injury. Nitmo will re-kick with a 5-yard penalty or 10-yard penalty. At the 35 it goes to.
Phil Simms there on the red phone. Red phone. I'm sure somebody's saying good job, because he has done exactly what it takes to try to get his team in a position to win this football game.
The penalty now, they bring the ball out to the 35 to negate the back and forth flow of people running back and forth to re-kick. Ball position at the 35-yard line where it's the Raiders ball, first down and 10. Burline, they'll be looking at Fernandez before long. He's not caught a ball in the second half. He had a big first half. Here's Bo Jackson. And the Giants were reading 34 from the handoff. Reasons was through, number 55.
They start out, the Raiders do, with the best field position they've had so far in the second half.
That's right.
Just by a penalty, by not getting a chance to run back that kickoff, gives them a chance to a little bit of breathing room.
That's what O.J. Anderson said. Bo knows football and Bo knows baseball, but we're going to find out Bo knows ice and Bo knows wind. Burline, 2nd and 9. Broken up beautifully. Giants defending cornerback Mark Collins, number 25, got a hand up as they go to Fernandez deep.
Fernandez was bracketed that time. He had Collins in front of him, and Kennard coming over fast from the inside. He was not open.
Burline tried to force it in. Burline a big first half throwing. It was when the Raiders were seemingly in deep trouble after the Giants took an early 7-0 lead that Burline started to hit everything he threw and took them right down the field. Now's a big down for the Raiders. 3rd down, and they need 9. Pressure's too much. Leonard Marshall was steamrolling in, number 70, as an errant pass is forced. Greg Cox also on the play. And the Raiders have to punt it again. And the Giant fans up and cheering. They sense the kill here in the 3rd quarter.
It's turning into a Giant game. Once again, you'll see Leonard Marshall coming from the left-hand side of your screen. Marcus Allen tries to get in and help out, but it's too late. Just a great bull rusher is what they call that. When you just take the guy in front of you and run him right back into the quarterback.
That's what he did. Ran him right into his QB, and now Meggett takes it back on the punt return out to the 38-yard line. Let's watch Leonard Marshall again, Ahmad. Bull rushing the passer.
This is what they call the bull rush. Leonard Marshall just takes the man in front of him. As he backs up, Leonard catches him and just runs him right back into the quarterback. That's
Steve Wright.
Bruce Wilkerson.
Wilkerson he had. All right, but whoever he was, he threw him right into him. And Marshall, the Giants feel, is having an all-pro season. He was not voted to the Pro Bowl.
You have a player like Lawrence Taylor who is so great. He overshadows all these players on this team. And they've got a lot of great players on the team, but because of Taylor, that's the only one you hear about.
10-point lead. They're allowed to look to run the clock some now with the running game. And here comes Anderson turning upfield, and he's to the 43-yard line. Where Eddie Anderson, the free safety, and inside linebacker Thomas Benson were on the stop for the Raiders.
This Giant team, if they can get 4 yards a crack, they can do this better than anybody in the league. They get 4 yards and take it all the way down. And I think O.J. Anderson just reached 1,000 yards on the year.
Yes, he did.
Who said he was too old?
As you said, he was a Plan C free agent. He was the only one that wanted him. He was eligible for Plan B, but got no offers. He's not rushed for 1,000 yards previously since 1984. 2nd down and 5, and Anderson breaks into the Raiders secondary. He's ahead for 6 yards and a New York first down. Lyndon King and Eddie Anderson on the stop. Giant salute for O.J. Anderson's 1,000-yard season. First and 10, right back to the money, but this time O.J. is thrown back by Howie Long.
Scott Davis, number 70 on the Raiders, he must have knew the snap count because he almost tackled Phil Simms before he handed off. Davis showing extreme quickness off the ball.
He broke through in the first half. You remember he got that big sack of Phil Simms. Only 2 turnovers in the game, 1 for each side in the first half. Game clock down to 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Giants have outscored the Raiders in the second half 10-0 to take a 27-17 lead. Sims with a play fake, buys time, lets her fly. Roussan goes for the ball, but it's not close. Lee Roussan, number 22, backup fullback.
And Phil Simms still not throwing many balls to his outside receivers. He'd prefer to throw them to the running backs out of the backfield and his tight end. A lot of times it's a better mismatch there when you use those players. You get a running back on a linebacker making him run down the field, and you get a tight end on a safety.
Could be looking at a wide receiver now, Matt. He's got 3 in the game, and Manuel, Baker, and Robinson. Howard Cross has been a weapon too. The tight end from Alabama, the first-year player, has his first 2 receptions, averaging 26 a catch today. Downfield throw to Stephen Baker, who turns upfield, and Baker has a Giant first down. He takes the ball inside the 35-yard line. Manuel, a good downfield blocker, helped him after the catch.
Stephen Baker came into the game wondering how he was going to keep his hands warm. Well, there's one way to keep them warm: catch a lot of balls. Phil Simms, watch Phil Simms hold this ball to the last minute, allowing Baker to get open. He knew he was going to take the lick. He just hung onto the ball, let Baker come across the field, and put it right on him.
A good timing throw. Giants now with a first down and 10 and just 8 seconds to play in the third quarter. Lewis Tillman is struck hard as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Benson got him. Gun sounds. The Giants won the third quarter handily as Art Shell and his Raiders find themselves down by 10 going to the final 15 minutes.
NBC Scores Plus, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the USA.
In the bitter cold at Giant Stadium, Giant fans in celebration as the Giants appear to be headed towards an NFC Eastern Championship. They can secure it with a win today, and they have taken a 27-17 lead over the Raiders after the 2 teams were tied at the half, 17-all. This is Don CRIQUI with AHMAD RASHAD at sold-out Giant Stadium. The chill factor was 7 below at kickoff at 1 when the sun was bright. Now it's got to be way down. O.J. Anderson has gone to 1,000 yards. Tillman's in the game as the running back now. Sims stands in, downfield throw. He's got a tight end, Moad, and a penalty marker goes down at the line of scrimmage. Lyndon King on the tackle. Tillman rocked in his stance. They're calling it against the Raiders.
Mike Weiss had a couple of runs at it. He jumped out and then jumped back and then jumped out and then jumped back. One time too many, as he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar, as they say.
Apparently, Ahmad, they're going to rest O.J. Anderson, at least while they have this 10-point lead, and get him, keep him healthy for the playoffs. O.J., what was he telling you? He's going to have his victory tour next year. He's coming back like Kareem.
That's right.
Gifts.
Number 90, offside. They're going to take the penalty, replay the second down.
Hopes to get gifts all over the league.
Yeah, I think Dr. J and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar set up something on that tour around the league. But there you see number 90, Weiss, jumping off, then jumping back again. Then he gets caught. The ball snapped just as he's trying to get back. But as we were saying about O.J. Anderson, when Kareem's teammates gave him a Rolls Royce, O.J. said, "I want my time. I'm going to take my thing around the league."
Lewis Tillman, first year back from Jackson State, the lone setback. Marathon leads the blocking, and Tillman takes it inside the 30 on a 2nd and 7 carry. Now let's go back to NFL Live in New York. Bob?
Don, thank you. John Tagliabue of the New York Times, the brother of NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, was one of 4 journalists shot and wounded while covering the fighting in Romania today. Tagliabue was wounded in the back by a sniper who fired on a car carrying him and other reporters. All the reporters are expected to survive. John Tagliabue, the commissioner's brother, is listed now in satisfactory condition. Let's go back.
So the grave situation in Romania carries closer to home. And that report, good to hear that they'll all be all right. As the throw downfield is connected to Stacy Robinson, who's inside the 25-yard line and down to the 23. Sims' confidence grows in this bitter cold as he keeps making the plays, and the Giants have a first down.
And O.J., you see Art Shell there, not happy about much this afternoon. And the rest that we talked about that Bill Parcells was giving O.J. Anderson has ended. O.J. is now in the game. Phil Sims now just firing the ball out.
Raiders have not been in this game in the second half offensively. They started out in a hole on their first possession. The decision to return a punt from deep in their own end, the subsequent penalty, and they've never gotten out of the jam. Here's Anderson back in. Penalty marker comes in from the umpire. Probably an offensive holding call. Thomas Benson on the tackle for the Raiders. 12:58 to play. Parcells is particularly proud of this team. He doesn't think.
Holding 65 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Bart Oates, the center, is called for the hold. He was out here in a T-shirt before the game.
Yeah, it told me.
Snapping the ball.
You see Bart Oates, the center, right in the middle of your screen, number 65. He's grabbing Golick and just pulls his jersey down. He gets caught there. But we were talking about Oates being out here early. He had on just a T-shirt. Told me I should be. You know, and anytime you ever, even if you travel through the Minnesota airport, people say you should be used to it. Yeah, you should be used to it.
You don't get used to this. I mean, it is really. There's a guy down here with his shirt off. We always have one of those. Fulbright scholar who's been let out for the day. .12:32 to go in the game. Giants with the ball and in command, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Santa's got that corncob pipe fired up there. Giants have their fans fired up here at bitter cold Giant Stadium, leading 27-17. They look for their first NFC divisional title since their Super Bowl year in '86. First and 10 Giants. Sim makes the connection to Zeke Moab. Raiders doubling up the Giant wide receivers, and the tight ends have been running free. First and 20 was the play, and the game was good for about 14 yards. First and 20 after the holding call.
Fine jobs by Phil Sims looking for Moat the entire way. Moat come running across the middle, gets behind Jerry Robinson. Nice possession catch. Takes a rock of a hit there on the end, but he's a big, strong fella, 6'3", 240, and filling in very nicely for Bavaro. Now you see him going out to the sideline. Looked like he took a little shot right on the top of his shoulder, but when you see Ronnie Barnes over there, the trainer, smiling, it's a good sign.
The Giants were saying, Ahmad, well, most guys wouldn't be playing with a bad shoulder that Moat has, but they have to have him in there. Bavaro can't go because of a knee injury. He could be ready for the playoffs. Second down and 8 for the Giants. Dumping it off. O.J. Anderson puts one person on the floor with a straight arm and takes it down to the 8-yard line. Benson finally got him. Anderson turns a no-gainer into a 12-yard pickup with the straight arm.
O.J. Anderson can not only run, but he can catch. He can stiff arm.
Robinson, he gets there.
He can cut. He still has it. He can still make that big play. That was just a great play by O.J. Anderson. He showed every facet of his game on one play.
Yes, he did. All on display there as the Giants are inside the 10. First and goal again. Hartha Straight-ahead rush down to the 3-yard line. In the second half, the Raiders haven't been vaguely close to even a long field goal attempt. They've not been in the game offensively. O.J. Anderson isn't the oldest runner to gain 1,000. John Henry Johnson did that for the Steelers when he was 35, gained 1,000 in a 12-game season.
When you look at these Giants, you start looking for O.J. Anderson. Here comes Maurice Carthen. And I really think the key and the heart and soul of this offense is that offensive line. They are really pushing people backwards. These backs have the opportunity to make the cuts. And anytime you have that room in front of you, it's the offensive line powering out.
Could be the knockout punch now as the Giants look to put it in again. Play fake. Sims rolling out. He'll take it in. Phil Sims. Touchdown, Giants.
Phil Sims taking it on his own. You know, he's got that bad ankle. He's got it heavily taped.
Bad ankle and all, though. Phil Sims runs it in, and Nitmo, who's been perfect today, hits the point after, and the Giants have doubled the Raiders' output with 17 unanswered second-half points. The Giants have this game locked up, 34-17.
Don, what the Giants have been able to do is to put constant pressure on the Raiders in every facet of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. Once again, you see Phil Sims rolling out here. He's got that bad right ankle. That's why he's not cutting back inside. Takes it right to the corner and takes it in for the score. But, I mean, that's what you got to get when you play this team. You got to get a team that's going to come at you in every single aspect of the game, and they don't really have a real weakness.
Eric Moore, number 60, was out in front. Coach Parcells well pleased. So the Giants, unless the Raiders can really get their pass game cranked up, are going to win the division. Winners tell jokes, losers say deal, and Phil Sims is a winner right now. Art Shell and his Raiders under the gun. They've not been in the game offensively since the second half began.
And that is the way the Giants force you into playing. They just keep coming at you and coming at you. They did not have a dip at all in this football game. Whereas the Raiders had that little dip, the Giants took advantage of it, scored got a couple of scores there, and next thing you know, you're trying to play catch up with a team that's not going to give the ball back.
Phil Sims likes to say he's had a lot of hospital time. As you look at Meggett, number 30, who had a touchdown. That running, he doesn't think it's dangerous for a quarterback. He's never been hurt doing it. It's getting sacked that puts you in the hospital. He missed 2 whole seasons with injuries. Bjorn Nitmo picking off again. It's a knuckleball downfield. The Raiders finally pick up. This is Steve Smith taking it ahead. And he's across the 25-yard line to about the 27.
Stephon Adams had the ball bounced in front of you, just slapped at it. That's a chance to even slap the ball. You might mess around and get a fumble again that time. You got to feel the ball when it comes at you. Just now on this kickoff, the ball bounced and Stephon Adams just slapped at it. You got to get in front and try to make have control of that ball. Now this was the biggest play I think in the game. His decision to try to field this ball inside the 5-yard line. It's a punt that obviously would have went into the end zone. Then it's compounded here by Land coming up and getting a clear-cut clipping penalty here, which sets them back to the 2-yard line.
And since that point on, the Raiders have not been in the game. They go to the run. Here's Marcus Allen darting upfield. Reminiscent of the great Marcus Allen years with the Raiders. He gets ahead for a gain of 10 yards and a first down on the play. But the Raiders need touchdowns, and they're going to have to go up top to get those. As we look again at the scoreboard, the 10-minute ticker telling the story. Eagles with a 10-point lead. If all stands as it is, the Eagles will go in as a wild card. Kansas City up in Miami, and the New Orleans Saints with an execution at this point of the Colts. Verline out throw, perfectly timed. He gets it to Mervin Fernandez for a Raider first down. They stop the clock with 9:10 to play. More scores. Pittsburgh closing in on a 9-7 season. A great comeback here for the Steelers. Depending on the arithmetic, they could still be in it. Now New England has rallied to lead the Rams.
That's one team that you could never count out. They've been counted out so many times this year.
Marcus shaken up on that play. Berline's going to have to keep pitching. Raiders going with 3 wideouts. This time he goes to Bo Jackson, who takes it straight ahead, and Bo's ahead for a 7-yard gain. Greg Cox tackled him. Cox was in the Super Bowl with the 49ers last January. Hoping to go there as a Giant, number 38.
Just sporting one of those Super Bowl rings that I had a friend of mine who walked into a bar with a Super Bowl ring. The barmaid asked him would they give that to all astronauts. That's the size of them things. Big, huge babies.
49ers is an all-timer. Berline, flutter ball up for grabs. Kennard can't make the play on it. The Giant free safety 43 was the closest to it. Mike Alexander was the intended receiver. Berline
put in a spot right now that he's got to come up with a big play. He's just firing it down the middle, trying to find somebody to catch it. He lets it go, thinks that somebody's going to have a play on the ball, but the ball with this wind, it's awful tricky. You put that ball up about 10 or 12 feet and the wind starts to make it flutter.
Well, we were here Friday at practice. Remember Landetta saying they were throwing paper in the air to see how it, that some of it was swirling around in circles at the middle of the field.
Seems like we've been here all week, Don.
3rd down and 3. Open man is Bo. And Jackson working hard. Fights his way inside the 30. First down Raiders. 8:23 to play. Perry Williams and Terry Kennard on the tackle. Raider coaches him out, as you know, feel that Bo could be a terrific receiver if he only had a full training camp. He's never been to training camp because he plays baseball in the summer.
That just makes this thing just so more incredible. You see Berline looking downfield, finds Bo Jackson out to the side here. Watch this hit by Cox, number 38, coming up. Jackson just takes that in stride and keeps on going forward, looking for somebody else to run over. Bo can do anything. I'm a believer.
High school, he set Alabama state records in the 60-yard dash, the 100-yard dash, the long jump, and the high jump. End zone throw. No flag. Clean breakup. Fernandez was the target, and Sheldon White, 39, was defending. Stopping the clock with 7:44 to go, and the Giants still in command, 34-17. They've outscored the Raiders 17-0 in the second half.
One thing you know when you get in a situation like this where you got to throw the ball, the one person I'm sure that's on Berline's mind right now is, where is number 56? We haven't heard a lot from him, but I guarantee you he's around somewhere looking for another sack.
He's out there. LT went off with that injured ankle. He wants to keep that Puerto Rico date.
That's right.
Golf course step. He's got a tee-off time tomorrow morning. He'll be there if they win. Berline. Hard throw. It takes off. Incomplete. Look who's right near the ball. Carl Banks. 30 yards back in coverage.
Carl Banks, one of the premier linebackers in all of football. Suffering a little bit in terms of notoriety because of the guy on the other side, maybe one of the greatest of all time. But that's not taking anything away from Carl Banks right here, number 58. He is just really steady. And when I say steady, I don't mean that mediocre as a mediocre steady. He's steady at a very high all-pro level every single game, every play.
Every down. He's a force. Doesn't get the rush that Taylor gets. That's not his job. Berline. Downfield throw. Fernandez is, there's a pickoff. Harry Williams, the right side corner on the run. Number 23 is Sheldon White. Kicks a balloon out of the way to make way for the return. Willie Gault finally makes the tackle on the return. But Berline's first interception has in effect ended this game. 7:26 to go, and the Giants take over, leading 34-17. We'll be back to Giant Stadium in a moment. With Ahmad Rashad, this is Don CRIQUI back at Giant Stadium, where Perry Williams just stopped the Raiders' best threat of the second half with an interception. The Giants go to the run now, looking to run the clock as they head towards an NFC Eastern title. Anderson runs as we look back at the previous play, the Burline throw that was picked off.
And Burline just trying to make something happen here. Puts this ball down the field. The wind takes it a little bit. Perry Williams makes a very nice interception here and a pretty nice run back. It just seems that with this constant pressure that the Giants have put on the Raiders in every aspect, they're just starting to fall right into their lair right now. Willie Gault makes a nice tackle on Perry Williams. But once again, the Giants have the ball, and they've got the Raiders right where they want them.
Anderson, the lone running back, as the Giants run the clock with 6:35 to play and the clock ticking. O.J. putting on some of his best stuff. He's out to the 29-yard line and appears to have a Giant first down. Anderson tackled him.
O.J. looking for 1,100 yards.
Philadelphia holds with a 10-point lead. New Orleans has put away Indianapolis long ago, which is good for the Raiders, but only if Los Angeles was to win today. Kansas City and Miami are tied up. Pittsburgh leads Tampa Bay. Green Bay leads Dallas.
What about that AFC picture down?
Well, you got Houston is 9-7 after their loss last night. Pittsburgh is going to 9-7. Cincinnati would be 9-7 if they win tomorrow night at Minnesota. Miami can still get to 9-7 if they pull that game out that they've been trailing into Kansas City. Miami should lose, and there were 3 9-7s coming out of the AFC Central: Houston, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. And that is speculating on a Cincinnati victory at Minnesota, and they'll go in as an underdog to the Vikings. There's a very strong possibility from all the arithmetic that a Houston-Cincinnati wild card game would be coming up on NBC next Sunday.
That would be very interesting. If Cincinnati can beat Minnesota and we end up having a rematch of Cincinnati-Houston, boy, you know what? It's almost like a knockout. Somebody beats you 61-7. You don't ever forget that.
But do you get over it in a short time? It didn't appear they have. Green Bay's beating Dallas, so the Vikings have to win the division. And off goes to O.J. Anderson. He's across the 35-yard line. Coach Shell wants a timeout.
The Vikings have had problems winning in big games this year, so that could be a big matchup there. I mean, it is a big matchup, but I mean, the Vikings' backs are against the wall if Green Bay holds out and they have to beat Cincinnati, because when anybody scores 61 points, they have an excellent football team.
They do. They could be going to the big game before it's over.
You kept thinking it will stop, it will at some point, but it went on forever. So there was glass everywhere.
In the living room, I have a 700-pound soapstone wood-burning stove that had bounced all the way across the living room, sitting in the middle of the floor. It was obvious from the very beginning that our house was no longer habitable. When I called my agent, I told him we needed to find temporary housing. Within 48 hours, Allstate had written me a check to pay for our moving expenses and for our rent. I expected bean pushers, and I got sensitive people instead.
Announcing the biggest sale ever from Ford. Now, Ford gives you a $1,000 cash bonus on the #1 selling cars and trucks in America. A $1,000 cash bonus from Ford on Taurus, Thunderbird, Probe, Tempo, Mustang, and Festiva. A $1,000 cash bonus on the best-selling Ford Escort.
Giant Stadium, where there's a celebration going on. The Giants sending a lot of their fans home early and happy this Christmas Eve as they're up on the Raiders 34-17. 4 minutes and 46 seconds from securing the divisional title in the NFC East. And the home field for the first-round playoff game. Tillman runs. He cannot hurdle a tackler. Penalty marker comes in from referee Gene Barth as Benson made yet another tackle for the Raiders. Holding call against the Giants. The wild card in the AFC, an interesting story. New Orleans knocking Indianapolis out of the playoffs today. The Houston Oilers are in. It appears that 3 playoff teams again this year, as it was the case last. 3 teams in the AFC Central will be in the playoffs. Houston is in and will be playing either Pittsburgh or Cincinnati. Pittsburgh with a 9-point lead at Tampa Bay. Cincinnati goes tomorrow night. Bengals are 8-7. If they win at Minnesota, they'd be 9-7. They get down to divisional records, but Houston is in.
Gary Glanville will have a whale of a coaching job to get his team over those last 2 defeats and get them ready to play in the playoffs. That is a tough situation to be in.
Now Stephon Adams lets it roll. Something he wishes he did in the third quarter. A 40-yard punt, and the Raiders send out their offense once more with 4:31 to play.
And these Raiders in defeat, even though they played so tough in the first half, I really think that they are on their way back. They may be back to where they were early in the 80s and the next season in the 90s, because they somehow have found that Raider way.
There's the scoring summary. Dave Meggett with a 76-yard punt return. The first time a Giant touched the ball. Then Berline got the Raiders downfield. He threw to Horton to tie the game. Now Berline, as we go to live action, ready to pitch it again. Too low for Steve Smith. Berline hit Fernandez and a 30-yard beauty down the far sideline, and the Raiders had taken a 14-7 lead. The Giants came back on Anderson's 1-yard touchdown run to tie it. And then the Raiders took the lead on Jager's 42-yard field goal. It was 17-14 Los Angeles. Giants tied it just before halftime when Bjorn Nitmo hit a 28-yarder. Anderson was in the end zone again with his 14th touchdown of the season, and the Giants had the lead. They'd not relinquish. Nitmo hit another, and then yet another touchdown as Phil Simms ran it in himself. And that's how it stands now, 34-17. The Giants in the lead. Berline, running around at his leisure, lofts the ball downfield and gets Mike Alexander for a first down. But there's a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. NBC statistician Joe Costanza totaling the numbers. That was a 26-yard gain, but Berline and the Raiders, who moved the ball so effectively early in the game, having big problems in the second half.
No foul on a play. First down.
Might have blown out of his pocket. No foul.
Well, I guess officials can make a mistake every once in a while. I think the neat thing about it is they stand up to it and pick the flag up. Berline with a lot of time here trying to find somebody. Finds Alexander.
Gene Barth and his crew have had good control of this every step of the way. Berline on first down. Out pattern. Too high for Fernandez to even leap for. That stopped the clock with 4 minutes and 12 seconds left to play. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, of the Los Angeles Raiders and the New York Giants. All rights are reserved. Bill Parcells and his Giants had a bitter cold ending last season here at Giant Stadium on a day when a last game victory over the Jets would have given them the division. They lost. Not only lost the division, they were knocked out of the playoffs. That's why Parcells was so intense today, all week, getting ready for this one, even though the Giants were already in before the game as a wild card. Alexander with the catch.
Bill Parcells has done such a great job. They started out this year. They were too young, too inconsistent, too old at running back, and here they are winning their division.
Downfield throw. That should be a foul, but none is called. They call an interception. Apparently the play is alive as Kennard runs it back. Alexander was whacked before the ball came in. He's talking to the official who gave him no flag. Plays alive, and it goes as an interception.
Well, it seems like when they make a mistake and drop a flag and there's no penalty, how about when there is a penalty, there's no flag, they should throw it now, because Alexander certainly was hit. See Alexander, number 89.
Watch this.
Now, that's pass interference.
Well, they blew that. A blown call goes the Giants' way as they have their offense out. Kennard was credited with his 5th interception despite the foul that wasn't called.
Here's another look at that play. That's certainly pass interference, and Kennard with shades of Spider Lockhart there with the one-hand interception.
I think that was Spider's number, too.
Spidey. I played against him many times. He was a great player.
Straight ahead carry. Running with the ball is Lewis Tillman. The Giants bring the game clock down to 3:25 to play. Mike Harden on the tackle. Despite today's game, it has been a very successful first year for Art Shell, who took over when the Raiders were 1-3. If they lose today, they'll finish at 7-5 since Shell took over.
And they've made such great strides to get back to that Raider way. And it's a winning way, and that's what it's all about. It's not about playing dirty or over-aggressive or anything like that. It's all about winning. And that's what Art Shell brings to this football team, the ability to win, the experience of winning.
The 3 Raiders Super Bowl winners. Hand off straight ahead to the 29-yard line. It's interesting what Al Davis was saying on NFL Live about the Raiders being the only team that was in the Super Bowl in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and they plan to be there in the 90s.
Well, if you talk to most players around the league, they still believe that the Raiders got something special about them.
Cincinnati, we're getting back to that AFC wildcard picture. It's 5-1 in divisional games. Houston is 3-3. That would mean that Houston would have to go back to Cincinnati, site of the execution a week ago. We'll talk more about that when we come back, as there's a timeout with 2:38 to play. Who is that masked man? It's LT. As we go to live action now, the Giants go to the run. Tillman, the rookie, with all that speed, trying to turn it outside. Anderson hems him in, runs him down for the Raiders. But at this point, it looks like it may very well be Houston at Cincinnati, but that is dependent on the Bengals winning at Minnesota, which will certainly take some doing.
They certainly don't have a lock there. They'll be going up against a team that at times during the year, a lot of people pick the Vikings to go right to the Super Bowl.
And if the Bengals lose, it appears that it'll be Pittsburgh and Houston in the AFC wild card.
What a turnaround there. We saw the Pittsburgh Steelers early in the year. I didn't think that they'd win 4 or 5 games.
Lost their opener 51-0, then got blasted in the second game. And again, the Giant fans salute at this timeout. 8. They were played to a standoff through the first 2 quarters. It was 17-all. This is a tough day for that Gatorade deal.
I remember in years past, the Parcell used to have to look out at his back because somebody would be sneaking up on him for one of those big buckets of Gatorade over there.
We'll keep a careful eye on that. Harry Carson is retired. Who was the pourer, the designated pourer?
He was the only one with enough nerve to even attempt it. I think if you put some water on Bill today, you got to fight.
All right, the Reasons is over there. Boy, that's got to be a bad feeling, even if you win a division. Put that down your neck.
Well, the worst feeling right now is on the other sideline. That's the Raiders.
Carson used to get Doc Warren's camel hair coat and put it over his shoulders to try to disguise himself. Sneak up behind him. Handoff straight ahead to the 36-yard line on a 3rd and 1. Might call for a measurement as the Giants have the game clock on the run, ticking on down to 1:49. Now it's stopped. Dave Meggett, in his first year in the NFL, a Pro Bowl player and part of a divisional championship team.
While they celebrate on that sideline, on this sideline, it's been a long day. And it'll be a long flight back to Los Angeles. But I think one thing they can be happy about is I think they've turned the corner. Even in defeat here, I think they have turned the corner. I'm talking about the L.A. Raiders.
Now, I think they did that before today, no question. Now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP is number 30 from the New York Giants, Dave Meggett, who ran back that opening punt return 76 yards for a touchdown. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. Big day for little Dave Meggett.
Short Dave Meggett.
Sure, that's right.
Because he is a power pack.
I'm not tall, but I'm not small. So
that's right. He's one of these guys that when you play against the Giants, you hate to kick.
1:48 to go, and back to punt is Sean Landetta. Game clock starts up again. Giants will be at home in 2 weeks for a divisional playoff game. Stephon Adams is the deep man back again. Here's the punt downfield, an end-over-end punt. Adams fielding on the run. Run out of bounds. Greg Jackson ran him up, and with 1:12 to play, the Raider offense comes out once more. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The producer of today's game, Terry Ewert. The director and the coordinating producer of NFL football, Ted Nathanson. As the Raiders down to a last chance just at gaining a little semblance of respectability in the second half because their offense hasn't been here, thanks to the Giant D.
The Giants have played a well-rounded football game. In every aspect, they grade out excellent.
Downfield throw and out of bounds goes Mervin Fernandez. And we'd like to pay tribute while we have a moment to Teddy Nathanson, who today is directing his final NFL football game for NBC. During his 37 years for NBC, he has directed 11 Super Bowls and has been coordinating producer for NFL football. Teddy is retiring this year, and from all of us who've had the fortunate opportunity to work with Teddy Nathanson, we say good luck and thank you for all the great pictures. For 37 years, nobody did it better.
I have played with some great players, including O.J. Simpson and Fran Tarkenton, and I'm very proud to put the name of Ted Nathanson on one of those teams also.
We all are. As Berline slides to a halt with a first down run. Too little and far too late, though, for the Raiders, who are down 34-17. And for a fourth straight year, the Raiders will not be in postseason play. Berline throwing hard. Galt makes the catch down to the 29-yard line. Raiders let the game clock run. They can't get back in this one.
There is some Gatorade being thrown on that sideline, but none on Bill Parcells. I guess they got too many young players to do that.
That's right. Not enough job security in those first and second year players. Here's Berline. Signaled in the grasp, and a sack is credited to Eric Howard. Thanks to NBC statistician Joe Costanza and to our spotters Tom CRIQUI and Raymond Ursay. There it is. Oh, LT's got that seniority.
LT can pour it on me, and I wouldn't say anything.
That's right. There it is.
Parcells didn't even blink.
And a final throw goes down to the goal line. Fernandez caught it. The gun sounds. He didn't get in. Final play of the game, while it didn't produce points, was exciting. And that will do it as Phil Simms and the Giants now have their first divisional title since their championship year of 1986. Congratulations from Parcells. To Parcells from Big Art Shell. We'll be coming back to Giant Stadium, where the Giants have won the NFC East.